Yeah, I want to thank those of you who are here early. Thank you very, very much. I want to thank Dr. Tunde Adegbola, who's here already. I want to thank him so much for coming early. I want to thank Kunle, Aknwale, and his team who are here early. I also want to thank the team that has worked with me this year to getting this off the ground. About 4 weeks ago, I woke up feeling a little bit strange, went to the hospital, checked what was, I've never felt like that before. And somebody said, one of my bureaus, who's a medical doctor, said, please go and do a COVID test, which I did. And only to find out that I had COVID. And if you notice in this compound, we've made every effort. We've made every effort to have, this is where you wash your hands. I've asked them to make provision for hand sanitizers. I wonder why they're not on the table yet. Mr. Adeleke, can you make sure the hand sanitizers are on the table where the registration is taking place? And I've insisted that we try and use our face masks as much as possible. I know it's not very comfortable, but I want to appeal to you. It's not a disease you will wish on your enemies. It makes absolutely no sense. I was very fortunate that I was vaccinated, and so my symptoms were minimal, but the first 2 days were critical, so much that I had to be taken to a Lodo in isolation. And so I want to appeal to you. It's not a joke. And I've told people at the reception, once this place is full to a social distance capacity, we're going to ask people to go back. Because your life is more important than any seminar or any program. I want to also appeal to those of you who are here this morning who have not been vaccinated. I want to promise you that some people who are telling you not to be vaccinated have been vaccinated. And so be very, very careful. I want to tell you that the vaccine made a lot of difference. There were people around me who were dying, who didn't even know where they were. And I just was normal within 24 hours because the vaccine had minimized the symptoms that I could have had. So let me appeal to you, take all the safety precautions, be very careful because this thing is real. Now, having said that, having said all that, last year we had to postpone this program simply because we didn't know how to handle the COVID-19 situation. There were lockdowns all over the country. There were lockdowns all over the world. And we stopped. And I kept waiting. March this year. Are things going to get better? Are we going to wake up and find out that the situation has changed? How many of you know it has actually gotten worse? We're having more infections right now than we had in the first batch. The only difference now is that we know how to handle it better. I must thank the doctors at Olodo who were very professional and very competent in doing what they did. They saved many, many lives, and they're still saving lives. Professor Alonge for the fantastic job that they're doing in saving lives. I don't know about any other state, but I know about my state. But we didn't know how to handle it then. Now, the question I want to throw at you, are we all going to sit at home and wait? There's a young lady called Adegbola. She's here with us this morning. She's going to be sharing very briefly with us about her cleaning firm. And I asked her to come in this morning to make sure that the tables and the chairs that you are sitting on, and even after today's program, will be sanitized again against tomorrow. And so the idea is very simple. This thing is not going to go away. Bill Gates published an article about 3 or 4 days ago saying that the World Health Organization is anticipating by 2022, we should have a clearer picture about COVID. But at the moment, Bill Gates says he doesn't believe by that 2022 we'll be ready. And so that begins to give you an idea of how this disease has come to live with us. Am I making sense? And so one of the things I want to appeal to you is I kept waiting, and that's what most of us are doing. We're waiting for a better opportunity, a better day. We're waiting for when we're going to get a clean bill of health. Some of us are even waiting for the Naira to come down. Am I right? In my lifetime, and I'm going to be 60 in January, the Naira has never come down. I'm not saying it won't, don't misunderstand me, but I'm telling you that in my lifetime, the Naira has never come down. What are we going to do? We're not here because we have solutions. We're here because if we can put our heads together, if we can drop our pretenses, if we can sit down and reason together, if we can figure out exactly where we are right now, if we can figure out the situation that we're in. When I first started the first e-commerce summit and expo, they can put up my slides. Okay, my slides are up already. Let me just walk you through. When I first started it, of course, we told you your safety comes first. And we're following this because your safety ultimately comes first. If you're not alive, you can't do anything. When I first started, if you notice, the title was "The Future Started Yesterday and We Are Already Late." And I was talking about the Southwest region. How right were we? How right were we? And I was scared because I met with Jumia Konga, and they said to me, the only things Ibadan people buy are telephones and some odd little electronic items. They had closed down their collection centers in Ibadan, both Jumia and Konga, because nobody was supplying anything online. We tried to convince them after the first summit to reopen the place, that we don't mind using this place as a coordinating ground, but they said no, it wasn't worth it because we have nothing to sell. And yet, I don't believe that for 1 minute. But you can see how right we were. And then the year after, we began to talk about how to develop content, how to drive traffic, and how to do conversion. But we couldn't even go that far in that particular edition because we found out that a lot of people that came for the conference were new people to e-commerce. So we had to go about laying foundations again about e-commerce. The year after, I was hoping to talk about innovation because I know that the only way we can survive is to be innovative. I just know that. Let me put it like this. You're going to listen to Dr. Adegbola this morning. And one of the reasons why I practically begged him and asked him to be here this morning is the fact that we cannot copy websites in Europe. We can't copy websites in America. We can't copy e-commerce in these other countries because of the digital divide that we have in our country right now, where almost 80% of us are not online. And he made this statement at the program we were with Dawn Commission. I'm expecting the head of Dawn Commission to be here this morning and the head of Bank of Industry in the Southwest here to be here this morning to also share one or two things with you. He said to us in a meeting, he said, radio is the poor man's internet. And I noticed that most of us are very good with trying to sell things online, but we're not good at linking that online platform with radio. But let me leave that to Doc. He's the expert. Is that okay? Are you here? All right. And so we started studying what are the impacts of COVID-19 on Nigerian. You know, I found out a few days ago that MSMEs were actually just entrepreneurs. It was a phrase that was coined by, I think it was the United Nations or so, but MSMEs are simply entrepreneurs. That's what they are. Anytime you see MSME, don't think it's some fantastic medium size. No, it's just entrepreneurs who are doing something unique. What are the challenges they began to face? We began to look at the data from State Foundation. Most of them said it was their cash flow. I'm not going to spend too much time on them, too much because it's in the brochure that I sent to everybody. And these were the reasons they were doing. They couldn't provide any of their services. So we suddenly realized that we didn't leverage, and we were all forced to go online, whether we liked it or not. But even there, I had the Commissioner of Education from Lagos State here on this very podium. And she told us categorically that there were places in Lagos where the children had never seen television in 2021. In 2021, they were telling people to go online in order for education to. Meanwhile, some people had never seen television. Some people were experiencing, we had not even leveraged schools on radio. I don't know if you can see where I'm going with all this. He told me that. I'm going to skip a lot of stuff. So the question now is, what are we supposed to do? That's why we chose this theme this year. We need to reboot. How many of you know when your phone is not working or your computer doesn't do what it's supposed to do? When I mean, even some of us have this thing, as soon as our computer starts to roll and roll and roll, what do? You just go to the power button, am I right? You press it down and wait for it to do what? That's what this is all about. That's what it's all about. I've called my friends, I've called people I respect in the industry. My first speaker this morning is meant to be Max NG. I mean, those guys have evolved from delivering goods and services on motorbikes to the distribution and manufacture of electric motorbikes in Nigeria. Not only did they build the motorbikes, they are giving them out, they are giving them to people to do business. It's an amazing journey, and he's always opened all my programs. I don't know if he's stuck somewhere in traffic. I don't know if he's on the train. I don't know why he's late this morning, but he's usually not. And his father lives in Ibadan, so he always uses the e-commerce as an opportunity to come and see his father. And so I hope he will still be here this morning. He hasn't been, he didn't tell me he wasn't going to make it, and he usually keeps his word. But how many of you know that Lagos-Ibadan Expressway is completely unpredictable? So we don't know where he is right now. Immediately I finish my talk, I'm going to call him to find out and make sure that he's safe. And that's why you and I must reboot. Most of you who came into this place this morning would have noticed that we have a swimming pool now. Because for almost 9 months, we couldn't do business. They shut us down, government shut us down. They wouldn't allow us to have events, which was right. We couldn't do any business. And I found that some of my friends who run, like Dr. Abib, who run hotels, were telling me the only part of their business that functioned during COVID-19 was their swimming pool area. Because it's open, you can do social distancing. Am I making sense? It's that's why we're not using the air conditioners. Air can blow through the system and you can serve drinks. And he said most people, this is what happened. He said most of the swimming pools in Ibadan, people will run out of their houses before the curfew and just come and sit down because they were tired of sitting down at home. We wrote to Nisal, we wrote to banks in the city of Ibadan. We want to do this. Immediately we said we were in the event center. All of them rejected our application. All of them. Because we were in the event center. And one of the worst places hit by the COVID was event and the travel industry. But we had to reinvent ourselves. And this was my fear. And I'm going to be frank with you. Because they warned us about strains. They warned us about the fact that government could shut us down again. This was my fear. But the 3 months we were practically shut down, I left my staff on my payroll for obvious reasons. What are they going to eat? How are they going to survive? So it wiped out our savings. Not only did it wipe out our savings, I mean, most of you know when you abandon a building for 3 months, what happens? It begins to deteriorate onto itself. So we were in a little bit of a dilemma. So we had to keep this place running somehow so that it doesn't deteriorate or fall apart. So I now said to myself, if another lockdown comes, I'll have to fire them. And I don't want to do that. I need to reboot. I need to start again. I need to have something that is open every single day, whether or not there is an event or not, because we didn't know when all this was going to be over. Are you here? And I've stopped. I've lost control of the... So yeah, basically, what we want to do for the next 2 days, and we reduced it to 2 days instead of 3, because we feel we're experimenting, we're just stepping out. So we don't want to do too much and get people into trouble. And one of the reasons why we need your information at the desk is for simple contact tracing. If we find out later that anybody here had COVID, we will let all of you know so that you can run checks on yourself. Am I making sense? Are you here? All right. So basically, this is what we're going to be doing for the next 2 or 3 days. I'm not going to read all this because it's in the program, but I want to go somewhere in particular. This is what Dr. Adegbola is going to be talking about when he comes up in a few minutes, about the digital divide. I want you to listen. And I want you to learn. I feel, in my personal opinion, that for us to succeed here, we have a company in Lagos that worked with us last year. They created the Wakanda website. How many of you remember them? Yesterday, a few days ago, I got a call from the MD of that particular company telling me right now that they've they're partnered with a particular company out of this country, which allows you to access all your social media platforms on WhatsApp alone. From WhatsApp, you can reach Facebook, you can reach, I shared it with you earlier, didn't I? Who you can reach Facebook, you can do anything, because they found out that in Africa, you need simple technology that anybody can use. I hope they will be here to share that platform with you. It's a fantastic platform because it has simplified everything. You know, it's very deep. Most people don't know how difficult it is for a woman in the market to start going on Facebook. I don't know if you get the point. What is her own with Facebook? You know what I mean? What is her own with Google search? You know what I mean? He doesn't care about things like that. But imagine if all these services were put into a WhatsApp phone and you just have to press 1, 2, or 3 to get something done. We're going to see a major revolution take place over there. The doc is going to talk about this. I don't want to spend time on it. All right? But I also want to show you some data. I got this from EZ37. They said, look at what they said. Nigerians spend an average of 3 hours, 17 minutes on social media. On WhatsApp, 85%. Facebook, 78%. Instagram, 57%. Facebook Messenger, 54%. And of course, YouTube. Anybody tell me why we don't spend time on YouTube? Data. It's data. Yeah. Because data is too expensive in Nigeria. So we avoid using what? We avoid using it. All right? So I'm going to skip all that. I'm happy to put up Dr. Adegbola here. The computer needs to speak our language and vice versa. The technology is applicable to our local language and appropriate applications that allow huge population to benefit from it. We will continue to look at technology as a foreign and reserved for a selected few. We have that man here this morning with us. I want you to appreciate him. Where am I going with all this talk that I'm doing? One, I'm using style to wait for people to come in. Huh? Because the two speakers that are going to speak after me, I really want you to listen to them. But at the same time, I'm also making sure that the bases that need to be covered by Mr. Bamiduro will be covered by me, all right? So let's move on. The other part we wanted to look at, and this part we're keeping a little bit flexible. We're going to have two clear strands of two clear lines of presentations here today. Raleigh Academy, who are one of our great partners, and we want to thank them. Let's appreciate Raleigh Academy. They've really supported not only the e-commerce summit, they've supported me as new streams to keep us going, especially during the recession period and the COVID period. They kept doing their events here, even though they didn't fill up the hall. So I want to thank them for that. That kept us afloat, and we want to appreciate them for that. All right? Let's appreciate them for that. Help me appreciate them for that. There are going to be two clear lines. One of it, and this is Mr. Kunle Aknwale is going to share this with you this morning. One of the greatest things you need to have right now in your life, especially in Nigeria, at 570 to 1, is multiple streams of income. He was sharing with us yesterday in church that the average millionaire has at least 7 streams of income. And he confirmed it with the Bible, where in Ecclesiastes, the Bible tells you to have at least 7. We're going to be talking about that this morning. Now, so what Raleigh Academy is going to show you today, and they'll do most of their events in the Garden Hall. It's been set up for that purpose, to teach you how to go online, how to do businesses that are outside your normal circle. Now, the rest of us will be here. There are various companies here who have different presentations that they want to present to you. We will give them an opportunity during the program to pitch to you. Am I making sense? What they're offering. Now, based on the number of you that agree to go for their seminar, we will take that data and allocate an appropriate room for them. Part of it will be part of the poolside, part of it will be the upper room, and we also have a place called the hub. If you look at the map they put up just now. So we're going to have seminars in those different rooms. However, those of us who are going to be here are going to sit with different experts. One of our first experts this morning, somebody who has made a fantastic transition in music to online platform to producing his own television program and drama, is Benga Adenuga. He's going to be one of our first speakers this afternoon who will sit on this podium, be interviewed, and be able to answer some of your questions and tell you how he has survived through this period. Am I making sense? Other speakers will include Mr. Manuel Silva, who's one of our MCs today, and some of our other respected speakers who are already working behind the scenes. So they will be here to run that through in this particular hall. All right. We also hope you will hear from Bank of Industry, and we hope that you will hear from Dawn Commission before we leave all this. So let me finish this. One of the other areas we want you to consider very much is, how many of you know that you meet a young man who walks up to you and says, let me do your social media platform for you? Have you heard that before? Then you pay them 50,000 or something on there and nothing happens to your business. Am I right? We've discovered that not all social media tools work for everybody. They won't tell you that because all they want to do is collect your money. Our intention is to allow you to see and fit what works for you. There was a campaign done a couple of years ago in Ibadan here by two gentlemen. Both of them have relocated to Germany now. They were so good at it. They only used Twitter. And they pulled the crowd. And they got sponsorship from Guinness to do their program simply by using Twitter alone. You don't have to be on all the platforms. You don't have to use all the tools. What you need to know is what tool works for who? For you. It's one of the things we want to discover today. What are the tools that will work on you? Is there a mismatch between your organization and your digital tools? Those are things we want you to ask people. Because some of us are on platforms we don't need to be on. There's a particular platform I'm surprised when most of us are not on, TikTok. How many of you are on TikTok? And one of the fastest growing video platforms in the world today. But most of us are not on. We don't even know. What makes a platform powerful? Let me explain this. What makes a platform powerful is not, let me give you an example. How many of you know if you have a website, if you don't do a lot of work, people don't go to visit it? You know how many websites there are in this world? Billions of websites. But you know, all of us go to Jumia, Konga, or Amazon. Why? Because we can meet as many people as possible there. Am I making sense? And so we all go to places where there are a lot of what? People. People were saying that the internet put newspapers out of business. No. What put newspapers out of business was the fact that newspapers used to have what was called classified, where everybody will put up, 3 lines. I want to sell this. I'm looking for this. And everybody will go and read the newspaper looking for something to buy or to sell. Newspapers stopped doing it. And so people stopped buying newspapers because they didn't have anything in common with other people who were reading the newspaper. Am I making sense? Most of you can remember Daily Times, Sketch. Can't you remember? There was a class. Some of you are too young. Do you people know what a newspaper is? I need to ask that question. Do you know what a newspaper is? It just used to be white. They used to print headlines on it. It used to be big, off-white, yeah, because they were using this particular paper that was always getting oxygenated very quickly. And so that's why they failed. They didn't have a group. So one of the reasons why you should go on a platform is the number of other people where your customers normally visit without an effort. Am I making sense? These are things we hope you will learn as we go along. All right? And then, of course, we're going to talk about digital marketing. Ayo is here. He's a technical partner with Page Carton and what's the name of the other one? Come River, Patriaton and Come River, our technical partners, they're going to be talking to you about digital marketing and all that as we go on. Of course, this is going to be handled by Raleigh Academy, but they have competition in the house, so they will have to fight for your attention. All right? Okay? And then let me just leave that. Let me just talk. I need to talk about this. I'm an architect, and Minister Fuller is an architect. He's the first person to design a geodesic dome. Some of you won't know what that is, but I don't have time to explain it. But he said this because when he designed the geodesic dome, he put a patent on it. And other architects began to accuse him of being greedy. And he said, no. He said, listen, wealth is a person's ability to survive X number of days if he stops working. So he said, if I die, my children should continue to earn money from the dome that I designed. So you pay me a copyright for it. Are you getting my point? And that's a principle. That's why if you own a house, the house continues to generate passive income for you. You know what I mean? So even if anything goes wrong and you don't have a job, that house rent will continue to be in your pocket. And that's why multiple streams of income become a very critical way. Of course, you all heard this famous guy, what's his name? Kunle will tell you all that. So that's what we're doing, ReBOOT, choosing the right digital tools, and then online tools that are available to you. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to break it up into those sections, and you'll be told where it's supposed to be. At the pool side, we're going to have a couple of caterers who will be serving you. You have to pay for it, of course, food. And we've made arrangements with 2 caterers. There's also a lady outside the gate who also most of you may be familiar with about what they're doing. So basically, that's our dream this year. That's our dream this year. Everything else, we did a pre-conference workshop. We didn't have as much attendance as we wanted, but we wanted to do a trial run. And as far as we're concerned, based on the number of people who showed up, we're very happy with the results we got. Many of them have started and rebooted their businesses already, and we expect some of them to come and share with you in the next 2 days. So this is the program. It's all in the bulletin. This is what we're doing now. Welcome, remarks, information, introduction of keynote speakers. Our first keynote speaker is supposed to be coming up right now, but he's not around. So I'm going to ask them to start, of course, with Dr. Tunde Adegbola this morning. Oh, okay, good. Oh, we have John Commission here. So I'm going to call him up in a minute to come and give his speech. And then before we start doing the keynotes, is that okay for you? I'm hoping, I don't know if the gentleman from Bank of Industry has come. Is he around as well? Are you the one making the speech? Oh, he's here. I met him once. Mr. Oyebi. Mr. How are you, sir? Please come and sit here, please. All right? Move a little bit closer. So those are the 2 guests we're going to have. We'll listen to them, and then after that, we'll call Dr. Adegbola to come up. So this is the program for today, the keynote speech. We're all going to be here for that, digital divide and technology tools. Then we're going to have a pitch presentation. There's going to be Q&A. There's going to be Q&A, and then after that, we'll take a short lunch break, and then we're going to break up into smaller groups, and then we'll have Raleigh Academy take up their position, and all the other service providers and teachers will have taken up their position. The main interviews will be done here, and the main talk will be done here. Taste and see which one you prefer. So once again, let me welcome you to the 2021 Southwest Regional Ecommerce Summit and Expo. We want to thank our sponsors once again, Bank of Industry, Raleigh Academy, Dr. Abib Alametoye. We want to thank, of course, the church that I pastor, as well as iBridge Hub, and the team from all these sectors for being here. We're doing this because we believe it's an important thing to be done. We're also being extra careful, like I told you, to make sure that we're safe from the virus, and I'm doing my best to make sure that you get the right kind of information. Your feedback is very important to us, and so we're going to email to you a sheet of paper where you would help us fill in your reaction or what you've learned today, whether it was useful or not, so that we can improve what we're doing with you. All right? Is that okay? All right? So thank you very, very much. Does anybody have any questions for me before I call Mr. I want to come down and have a chat with him before I call them up one by one. Anybody have any questions for me? We're very nice Nigerians. We don't ask questions. Once somebody carries a microphone, okay, they're going to spray the stage. You can see some of the protocols we've put in place to make sure that we keep everybody safe. So they're going to spray the. You want to speak first, or should I invite? Okay, so they will introduce you now. Okay. Mr. Silva, we can introduce him. Yeah. Mr. Mike, you?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Imal Silva. Though I live in Abuja now, I am part of the family here. Those who know me, been here for years, and some of us, when we got outside this place, it was very difficult to adjust because we had gotten used to a source that we all fed from, and some of us are who we are today because of what we've received in this place. So I just want to thank Pastor for the opportunity once again to be here and to be part of this event. And I also want to introduce somebody very special to us here. Several years ago, I was a curator for exhibitions of a particular institution called the Yoruba Academy. And that was many years ago. And I was privileged to be part of a community of people who were brilliant, brilliant people from the Southwest who had, over the years, have done some marvelous and fantastic things. So I wouldn't say much. I just want to let the person that is representing this community speak to us. His name is Mr. She Wele, and he's the Director General of the Dawn Commission. The Dawn Commission, he will tell you in detail what it is, but it's the development agenda for Western Nigeria, if I'm right, sir. And they are a think tank that integrates the development infrastructure in the Southwest states. So I'm sure he'll be able to tell you more. Mr. Sheye, you're very much welcome. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Silva. It's a pleasure seeing you again after long hiatus. As you rightly said, in another life, we used to collaborate and do a few things together. And part of the work we did in those days was what gave birth to eventually on commission. Good morning, everybody. My name is Sheye Oyele, Director General at Dawn Commission here in Ibadan. Dawn stands for Development Agenda for Western Nigeria. I'd like to thank the organizers, particularly Pastor Francis. Thank you for inviting me once again. I also want to salute your doggedness doing this. I know you tried to do it last year, but we all understand that there was no last year, as I say. There was no 2020. So it's several times I tried to talk about certain things that happened last year, then I realized it was 2019. And I kept thinking, okay, so let's just assume that we thank God for those of us who lost very close friends, we understand, and I'm not sure this is the right platform, but I do plead with people that if you are convinced, please try and take the jab. If you are convinced. Because I've had friends who said, no, I will never touch it. And they are not here today. Well, thank you, sir, for this. And it is a pleasure again to stand here to share a brief goodwill message. Again, a brief introduction of who I am. I come from DAWN. DAWN stands for Development Agenda for Western Nigeria, which is the integration commission that ensures that the 6 states of Southwest, Lagos, Oyo, Ondo, Osun, and Ekiti, work together. It is important to say that it isn't a political organization, purely developmental. And because of that, we've enjoyed the support of several organizations and bodies who see us as the go-to place when it comes to matters for Southwest Nigeria. As I said, it has nothing to do with politics, because in Nigeria today, one of the bane of development is that we've reduced everything to politics. So things that are logical becomes illogical, because we are seeing it from the prism of politics. Well, as I said at the commission, we don't do politics. Some of you don't know us because our job is not fashionable. You don't find us usually in the press. The only thing that thrusted us in the media a few years ago, what you all see in town, Amotekun, because it came from our commission. The ideas, conceptualization, the thinking behind it, the uniforms, the color, the logo, everything came out of DAWN Commission. And we're proud of it. We're proud of it. Because again, it shows that the moment you understand that when you are working together for the common good, politics takes a backseat. So our governors, in their wisdom, understood that if there's going to be any meaningful developments in their region, it has to be a secured region. You can go all over the world to pitch that come and invest in my state. I'm open for business. Once that potential investor picks his or her iPad or phone and sees that 2 men were kidnapped on the road to his state yesterday, they will politely listen to you and then tell you, Mr. Governor, thank you. We shall be getting in touch. And that will be the end of the story. Security, absolutely important. If an investor is coming into Nigeria today, I'm sure the first place they're thinking of is not Northeast Nigeria. That will not be the first place to think in security. And once there's insecurity, there's no economic development, and it breeds poverty. So you have poverty. So that was the wisdom and the idea when the Southwest governor said, we need to secure our environment. We cannot leave it to kidnapping and banditry. And thankfully, in their own little way, the Western Nigeria Security Network, which they're called, or what everybody calls them, Amotekun, they're trying their own little bit. But anyway, I don't like reading speeches. Why? But I have a one-page here, Google message, which I will put out. The 2021 edition of the Southwest Regional E-Commerce Summit and Expo is coming at the right time as most economies begin the recovery process from COVID-19. Ostensibly, the pandemic had a twin effect on commerce and economic activities. On the one hand, it crippled economic activities due to the crowding out effect on sales revenues, which aggravated the precariousness of MSMEs and entrepreneurs. On the other hand, it necessitated an accelerated digital transformation. Indeed, the pandemic has redefined trade and commerce through the massive transition from offline to online transactions and interactions. Thus, digital solutions are increasingly required to conduct business and economic activities remotely. However, there is a possibility that some entrepreneurs might be left behind in accessing the dynamics of these digital solutions. It is against this backdrop that this expo is germane to reposition trade and commerce towards improving activities in the Southwest region in particular, and the country, Nigeria at large, most especially in the post-COVID-19 era. I mean, I used to say that who would have thought that you will sit in your room in Ibadan here and simultaneously be meeting with people in Dubai, Canada, London, South Africa at the same time. I mean, COVID indeed changed the world. The future, we kept talking about that in the future was suddenly thrusted on us last year. And it is important that Nigeria is not left behind. I mean, particularly the Southwest, which is known as the technology ICT hub for Nigeria and West Africa. And, you know, we don't have a right to remain in that prime position if we don't make little efforts like this to reposition and get our policymakers to think in the right direction. That's one of the reasons why, again, I salute, sir. This expo aligns with the digital literacy program of Dawn Commission, which is geared towards improving e-commerce and digital economy in the region. It is therefore imperative to create conversations around the requisite digital solutions to traverse the present realities in the e-commerce space. This will involve turning conventional and traditional solutions into digital alternatives, which is compatible with present dynamics and overcomes the barriers inherent in the previous approaches. The theme essentially summarizes the strategies to drive trade and commerce in the post-COVID-19 pandemic era. The lineup of programs at this event shows robust coverage of various issues relating to business recovery, which are to be handled by highly resourced speakers and facilitators at the different sessions. Based on the success of the previous editions, it is expected that the current edition will help adjust to current realities of increased digital transformation and offer digital solutions to current challenges. It will also provide the best digital alternatives to traverse the volatile business environment created by the pandemic. At the policy level, the proposed introduction of e-Naira by the CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, signals an improvement in the payment system management and digital inclusiveness in the country. Upon its launch on October 1st, 2021, the e-Naira is to become legal tender, equal to the value of Naira, which must be accepted as a form of payment by all merchants and business outlets. Such a policy initiative is designed to strengthen the payment system and facilitate the e-commerce business in the country. This is a welcome development. First, it will liberalize the payment system in the country. Second, it will provide commensurate alternative payment that is digital compliant. And third, it will increase financial inclusion and transform trade and commerce in the country. Due to the adjustments and permanent changes that the pandemic has brought, new solutions and approaches are required to face the realities of the post-pandemic era. Given the position of Southwest region as the major player in the digital and e-commerce space in West Africa, it is important to drive conversation towards a sustainable e-commerce progress and harness the potentials of the region to reposition its economy in particular and that of Nigeria at large. This expo, therefore, demonstrates the region's readiness to undertake the sweeping changes required to position the region's economy as it takes its rightful place in the country. Therefore, enjoin all the entrepreneurs and other stakeholders present to make the best use of this opportunity offered by the Expo to garner enough insight into how to grow your business and other entrepreneurial endeavors within the e-commerce space. On behalf of Dawn Commission, and the state of Southwest Nigeria, I wish you a happy 2 days Expo. Thank you very much indeed.
Sometimes I don't know whether to put the mask on or to remove it, because this mask has become part and parcel of our lives now. Okay, so I also want to, first of all, thank Mr. Shea for the words you shared. It's really good to hear from you and from the Dawn Commission. And we really appreciate you coming and for being part of the vision at New Streams. I also have a very important guest here, and I know it's we shouldn't continue without giving honor to those who are honor is due. So I just want to acknowledge in our presence Mr. Mike Oye, who is the regional manager for Southwest for the Bank of Industry. Please, you have a few words to share with us. Thank you. Thank you.
Good morning, all. Good morning, the SMEs there. Good morning, all invited guests, and everybody here. Just permit to stand on a system protocol. Sorry. We are so glad to be here as a Bank of Industry. My name is Michael Oye, just has been said, the regional manager for the Southwest operations of the bank. I cover the operations of the bank in your state, Osun State, Ondo State, Ekiti State, Osun and Kwara states, excluding the Lagos and Ogun State. So we're so happy to be here, be part of this program, part of this initiative. Let me appreciate the organizer and specifically Reverend Francis for what you have put into this. I know a lot of efforts were put personally into this, just to make sure that it works, despite the current situation, pandemic last year, which even the impact extended up to this period. Your target days in this instance, even ensuring that still hold notwithstanding. So we want to appreciate your effort in that regard. You know, e-commerce is quite critical, just as he has even stated, and the Dawn Commission has mentioned in the speech here. It's a critical thing to the SMEs, and as a Bank of Industry, we are putting so much attention on the SMEs, because we all know the implication. They are the engine room of the nation. They create the larger part of the employment. You know, they help in many ways to reduce poverty. And any serious nation will always seek to assist and to improve the environment to ensure that these people have a conducive environment to operate. So as a Bank of Industry, we would focus on industrial sector of the economy. We are also very key in about supporting SMEs. And e-commerce is a major tool, is a major enabler for them. It's been established that the SMEs embrace e-commerce perform much better. About the 98% of the SMEs that export we confirm that 98% of them are the ones that embrace SMEs. So it means that if you really want to export, if you really want to get to a level where you want to export your product, obviously e-commerce is something that you have to think seriously about. And I mean, it's not difficult to understand because when you are exporting, actually, you are operating beyond your geographical location. And how do you handle that if you don't embrace e-commerce? Because of course, e-commerce, that is what it helps us to do. It enables us to operate even beyond our location, geographical location. So that's one of the reasons that we are very particular about supporting this program by working with organizers to make sure that it happens, because we understand the implication or the impact of e-commerce on our SME. It also be established that apart from the export area, even in performance, in optimization, in profitability, SMEs that embrace e-commerce, they are far, far better off, you know. And one of the books was written that they perform at about 60 or 90% better than the other colleagues who traditional SMEs are not embraced. That we need to improve on our offering, on our product, on what we do on our activities. It's essential that we embrace this e-commerce. But it's not just embracing e-commerce for the sake of it. Just like organizer said when it was presenting, Francis said, that we have 1 billion websites in the world. You know, so it's not just about you having a website, it's also about what you do with it. And I believe this particular forum is to educate us, is to expose us more to what has to be done to keep our e-commerce site active and be able to attract a lot of clients and patronages. So it's essential that for this period that we all pay attention, we seek to explore whatever is available, we seek to listen to all the speakers and take the best of what they have to offer, what they have to give to us. Bank of Industry is also here. They're going to be here throughout the period. If you need to consult us, we're going to be somewhere there. You can meet with us. We support SMEs and we support you to acquire necessary facilities for your e-commerce. So traditionally, some of you might know that Bank of Industry, we help SMEs acquire productive and production equipment. You know what mostly you must be render some value addition. You know, we don't normally support trading. Traditionally, we don't support trading. But if you are running a kind of value addition in your project, you are producing something, you are processing something, that is where we stand. So we normally support you to acquire kind of equipment that you need in your processing activities, your manufacturing activities, and even in certain services like healthcare, even hospitality, you know, IT, of course, a lot of other things. So what we also consider your e-commerce tool, your technological things that you need for technology. We also consider it as part of your tools, part of your equipment that we can finance. So you don't need to be afraid about, oh, did they be able to support me? We support you in acquiring your IT equipment, your laptop, your desktop, your app, you know, it's part of what we're going to support. So don't be afraid in that regard. If you have acquired something that you need, it's going to complement your effort, whatever you are doing. Any technology that is considered important, that you know is going to add value, is going to improve your activities, going to increase your profitability, we also will assess it to see what is part of that technology on your business. And on that basis, we're going to support you. You know, and on a longer term, on a flexible condition that is going to be appropriate for your business. So we are there for you, to be able to help you in this journey. It's not only tools, it's not only machines that we finance, but we finance things like this that are relevant to your business and relevant to improving your business and your operational standard. So we are going to be here throughout the period. We are still going to continue to engage you in this process. We are here for you. We are part of you. Your pain is our pain. What you need is also what we consider in giving. And we have all be established that e-commerce is a critical tool for every SMEs. There are major issues when it comes to assessing loan for Bank of Industry. A lot of MSMEs get withdrawn. But if you focus on this and with a little patience, you can get over it. It's mostly about documentation because a lot of us by the time we start our business, we don't usually pay attention to documentation. Our focus is on doing this business and making our money. But every business at one point in order, I've seen some people say, I don't like loan, I don't like loan. Yes, it's good. Even me, myself, I don't like loan. But, it depends on your ambition, it depends on your vision, it depends on the goal that you set before yourself. If your goal is beyond what you can do now, then you have to look at taking loan. And taking loan is not the problem, it's what you do with the loan that matters. If you understand the sector where you're operating, if you understand the business very well, there's no problem about taking the loan. If you know that indeed you have gotten a place where you can expand your business and you don't have the money that it takes, there's no problem from you running to the banker, especially a bank, a development bank like Bank of Industry, who understand what's going on and who understand the peculiarities of the SMEs, especially the peculiarities of our nation. We are going to be able to understand and be able to deal with you in that regard and give you a loan that will not usually give you some kind of a complication. So it's better at the beginning of the day, to understand the documentation, the need, the requirement of the bank to be able to support you for such loan, and you work towards it. You don't need to chicken out. You don't need to run away. Yes, it can be 20 requirements, but they are so simple if you have been following the requirements. If you understand the need for documentation, things like your CAC, how you register your CAC, evidence of your registration, your account, it's important that you have your account detail. If you don't have it, you can still walk back and say, okay, it's that time for me to settle down and get it done. So those things might look too demanding, but at the end of the day, they're not too difficult for any serious business. You don't have to get the loan right now. By the time you look at the list of requirements and you think you still have some things to fulfill, then work towards it in the next 6 months. I want to be able to satisfy this requirement. I want to be able to come to Bank of Industry in the next 6 months. To assess loan, it's a target that you set for yourself, and it can be done. So it's not a difficult thing for all of you, and for some of you, whoever that wants to access the fund, you might just need to understand certain things. And in Bank of Industry, we have even gone beyond this, because we understand that some people just have this difficulty. And we have engaged a lot of some people at business development support providers, SMEs consultant, and they can help you in the course of documenting your loan requirement. They can help you in the course of packaging things. Most of the requirements, most of the difficult ones, technical areas, you have engaged certain people to help you to navigate that regard. So at the end of the day, it might not be too difficult. And what you're going to pay to be able to get those services are just minimal. That is what Bank of Industry has done for the SMEs. So at the end of the day, SMEs should be ready to embrace this too. They should embrace this platform that help them to improve on their offerings and what they do. And Bank of Industry is going to be there. So lastly, just before I leave, I want again to express our appreciation to the organizer for this effort in this regard. This is a key area, and there's no doubt that you are bringing value to the SMEs, and we're happy for that. Whatever it is, we will going to continue to work with you. We study what the situation is in this year, and we can improve on it jointly, so as a way to add value to our SMEs in the Southwest region. So as the Southwest manager and covering the Southwest, this is an area that I'm so happy that you're working on, and we're so happy to work with you. We continue to work with you in that regard. Thank you so much.
Let's put our hands together. It's not loud enough, please. Thank you. We really thank you, sir. And also to Mr. Sheye from Dawn Commission, thank you so very much. Also, please permit me to do this. Now it's time for us to get down to business. Let me put this here. Like it has been said at the beginning, we have our keynote speakers here. What we've just listened to are goodwill messages from our friends and partners who have been in support of this project right from start. So we appreciate them so much. Now it is time to get down to business. There is a part of our brochure that I want to quickly read to us and kickstart this. I was going through it when our host was talking to us, and is one of his slides talks about pathways to recovery and growth in business. I know that there's quite a lot of businesses represented here this morning, and one of the reasons why you are here is because you want to maximize the situation that we found ourselves in the world of today. Am I right? We're talking about rebooting, starting everything all over so that we can redirect and be sure of success in what we're doing. This ReBOOT business campaign seeks to challenge business leaders. I guess this is the problem. This ReBOOT business campaign seeks to challenge business leaders around securing a pathway to recovery that is financially viable and strategically competitive, but also sustainable in terms of the environment and diversity. That's deep. The pandemic itself has given us a once-in-a-lifetime chance to create a sustainable future society and business in the future. It's a second chance that we cannot ignore. On this note, I would like to introduce our first keynote speaker this morning. It's been mentioned earlier on, he has been here before time. We call him Uncle T, generally, for those of us in the house with him. Uncle Tunde Adegbola. Just a quick summary of his profile. He's a research scientist, a consulting engineer, and a culture activist. He is the executive director of African Languages Technology Initiative here in Ibadan, Nigeria. He leads a team of researchers in appropriating human language technologies for African languages. In that regards, he has partnered with Microsoft to localize Microsoft Windows and Office Suite for Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. Before his company, he worked at Innovative Computing Group, ICG, Incorporated, Ohio, United States of America, applying cellular automated transform, CAT, and innovative data modeling technology developed in ICG for the perpetual compression of digital audio. Let me read this before I stop because his profile is so wide. He taught African intelligence and automated reasoning at the University of Lagos from 2008 to 2019. You're not clapping. Why are you cold? Are you cold? Do you need coffee? You need coffee? All right, thank you. From 2008 to 2019, and has been teaching same subject at the University of Ibadan from 1990 till date. In 2016, thank you, you can clap. In 2016, it was commissioned by Shell Nigeria Exploration and Production Company to undertake stakeholder consultations and needs assessment for the delivery of ICT centers to some Nigerian universities as part of SNEPC's Corporate Social Responsibility Program. Let me just stop there because the good of the pudding is in the taste. By the time he begins to talk, they will understand this. This morning for our session, we'll be looking at bridging digital divide. And to do justice to us in the next 30 minutes thereabout is Dr. Tunde Adegbola. Please put your hands together for him as he makes his way here. Please put your hands together. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank the organizers for considering it appropriate to invite me, thereby giving me to share my thoughts. It's very important. So, as advertised, I'm supposed to talk about bridging the digital divide. That I will do. And I've chosen to speak to this issue in the context of enjoining this congregation to embrace the E in e-commerce. What really is e-commerce? E-commerce basically is the buying and selling of goods, as well as the paying for them over telecommunications. The way we did things before was to take the goods, deliver to people, get money from them. But this is not the situation with e-commerce. And you will notice that e-commerce is not the only E. There is a whole world of E's. There's e-transfer, e-banking, e-wallet, e-business, e-newsletter, e-learning, e-voting, e-sports, e-paper, e-book, email, e-computing, commuting, e-car, e-cigarettes, e-boy, e-girl, even eBay. So the question is, what really is this E? Why should we embrace the E? The question we should ask in determining why we should embrace the E is, in essence, is a transaction based on transportation or on communication. When you engage in a transaction, is it really something about transportation or communication? In order to answer the question, we'll need to recourse to history. And that's because mankind has gone through a lot of changes. But three of these changes qualify to be a revolution. And a revolution has been defined as a change of high intensity and fast pace. When you have a change of high intensity happening at fast pace, you have a revolution. And the problem with revolution is you can only handle a revolution effectively if you anticipated it and you get prepared for it. In Yoruba, we say, umbo, and you have to be ready for it. And these three important revolutions are the Neolithic revolution, actually the revolution in which human beings became agriculturists. Second is the Industrial Revolution, the revolution in which human beings started using machines and engines. And the third is the Information Revolution, in which we have found ourselves now, the world of the E's. Man started out as hunter-gatherers. I am hoping that going through this, you will be able to realize that this whole thing is for you, for me, for us. It is an unfortunate thing if you get taught in a foreign language. Every technological wonder that you see, you imagine is something that can be achieved only by the extra clever foreign people. But I'm trying to go back in history so that we see how we got to where we are and find that there's nothing to it. It's just straightforward effort. Man started as hunter-gatherers, running around in bushes looking for things to eat. Does anybody here know an agbalumo plantation? None. If you see agbalumo in the market, in Bodija market, somebody did not plant it. In Yoruba, they will say, Ola lehu, that it opened the earth and came out. That is living, as it were, as a hunter-gatherer. When you do not cultivate what you eat, just fishing from streams and all that. Then we had a hunter-gatherer to agrarian age revolution. And that revolution was the one in which we started cultivating plants and breeding animals. Then we were forming permanent settlement, and we were developing specialized labor. People were getting better at one thing. And we usually refer to this as division of labor. Then the next revolution was from the Neolithic age to the industrial age. At the Neolithic age, the agrarian age, all the energy that we use came from the muscles of human beings or the muscles of their domesticated animals. And everything that was done essentially by manual labor. That was what characterized the Neolithic age. But at the industrial age, we found that we could use energy, we can get energy from what we now describe as mineral resources. I mean, that's what Nigeria depends on. One of these sources of energy, oil. It is a characteristic essentially of the industrial age. Then the next revolution happened from the industrial age to the information age. That's where we now find ourselves. We had machines, we had engines in the industrial age, but we now went into the information age, automating these machines, finding ways of making them used better. Learning, all these interesting things that promise to give computers some of the capacities that were hitherto achievable only by human beings. So, what really is this information revolution? The information revolution is characterized in which information now becomes the main index of wealth and well-being. That's what I mean by it. If you are a wealthy man today, it is because you have information, believe it or not, or you have capacity. And so wealth is determined by your capacity to inform and be informed. If you do not have the capacity to inform, you cannot be wealthy in this information. If you do not have the capacity to inform and to be informed, your capacity to have wealth will be terribly compromised because information is now in the index of wealth. And this revolution is driven by the development of solid-state electronics, digital systems, information communication technologies, and all that. They have made it really, really easy to communicate. And they have increased capacity to store and transmit information. They brought about data processing, machine learning, and all that. In the industrial age, the means of production were land, labor, and that is what I was taught as a 15-year-old. Economics. Means of production are land, labor, and capital. Land. Google, Apple, and Microsoft, and many others started in the garage. Just some in their father's garage, some Steve Jobs didn't even have a father. Talk of the garage. So that, I mean, probably found the garage somewhere. Labor, friends just got together and worked day and night for a common goal until they hammered. In Nigeria. Capital, a lot of it was just from the goodwill of those who are working together. Sheer bulk, sheer run of people who work together. And the fact that they had a common goal that was important to them, something that kept driving. So in the information age, the most important means of production is the capacity to inform, be informed. With a laptop, and access to an internet, a lot of things happen. So really, your lap is the land in the information. Here, on the right, is the exact garage in which Steve Jobs started Apple. That was the garage in which he built the first Apple. And this is typical, what the typical garage of startups. So you can imagine how important land is in what we are talking about. So this is all to prime you and get you to know that what we are talking about, because if you don't really understand this thing, there could be a barrier. There could be a kind of something that mystifies you and you think it's something not attainable. It is attainable. And we have examples here, like has been said. Information is key. Information storage and transportation were the incentives for it. It was because of the need to store and transmit information that people started writing. And we find that societies that kept oral became disadvantaged. And we suffered a lot of disadvantage from it. And there are these important dualities. There's always the duality of time and space. And then you look at it critically. This thing that information, that literacy did was to try to, first of all, make it possible for information to be available over time. That what you know today, generations after you can know it. That is information over time. And the book took care of that. Also, information over space. What you know here, people in Bere can also know it because you don't need to go there. You can take the book there. But what you will find is that since humans developed writing, there has been a steady reduction in the mass involved in the media with which information is stored and transmitted. So we started with stone tablets. Then we went to wooden tablets because wood was lighter than stone. Then we went to papyrus because it's lighter than wood. Then we went to paper. With paper, we got so successful that we even now have to balance the flimsiness of the paper with the mechanical structure we need for the paper to hold so it doesn't tear. And we find that even when you put ink on paper, you do know that the weight of the paper increases because the ink itself has weight. So there's that information equivalent of that. So these are situations that we dealt with. And all these things happen because to move mass demands energy. And we have been trying to reduce the energy that we use in storing and moving information. Now we have come to paper all the way, but in the information age, you know, some people talk of this office is paperless, live in a paperless world and all that. So the question then is, what now moves? When you send an email to somebody in America, what moved? Does anybody know? What? That? Air. Okay. The reason why I am using this device is because so what really moves? Do you think it's nothing? Can it be nothing? Believe it or not, the electron that moves. And that's the E. That is the E in Ecommerce. It is the electron that moves. If you hated physics, don't worry. The electron is a negatively charged subatomic particle that moves around the nucleus of an atom and whose movement from one atom to another manifests as electricity. Whenever all this light, they are due to the fact that some electron is moving from one atom to another. That is what. Now, this is the thing. The electron is the lightest stable particle that we have control over. It weighs 9.1 to power 10 times 10 to power minus 31. That 10 to power minus 31 means that there are 31 zeros after a decimal point before you now talk of the 9. And each zero, each of the 31 zero means divide by 10. So each time you see it's like this 9 something something, divide by 10 31 times. Just keep dividing by 10, by 10, by 10, by 10. I mean, whatever that means to the physicists, what we know is that that is a very, very light, and it is extremely easy to move. Very, very little energy. Move it. So we now have these digital systems in which we're able to encode information as ones and zeros just by manipulating the motion of electrons, with the prospect of storing and transmitting information by the movement of electrons. It is a major milestone and ways to reduce the quality of energy, which now makes communication more accessible. That's why you have a phone in your pocket. 20 years ago, only James Bond put a phone in his pocket, and I'm talking to you, and somebody walks out to go and get a phone call. It was like magic. Only James Bond did it. It means now that the overheads of every transaction can be almost minimal, negligible. The transportation dimension in transactions have come much lower. They're almost not there most of the time now. And therefore, it elevates the role of information in transactions. It's put a lot more importance on information over the transportation, communication over the. Of course, old habits die hard. That's why we are all here. That's why we all transported the masses of our body to this place. But we'll get over it sooner or later, I promise you, with emphasis on sooner. So the replacement of transportation with communication become the core value of the info. Whenever you consider this information age, information revolution, all these computer things, just consider it that we are using communication to replace transportation. And if you see it from that point of view, it helps you to organize your activities. And if somebody is offering a company for sale, you should consider it. Is it transporting or communicating? Is it profitable for you to get into a company that is involved in transportation and one that is involved in communication? And we'll see. Let's look at these three companies: Airbnb, Uber, and Bolt. Airbnb is an hospitality business without a single hotel. All they do is use information to bring people who need accommodation to people who have accommodation and not need it. What about Uber and Bolt? Uber and Bolt is a transportation business without a car, no vehicle. If they have vehicles, it belongs to the individuals working there. They have a transport business without owning a vehicle. And what do? They create a platform for linking drivers to travelers, taking some of the transport out of transportation. What do I mean by taking some of the transport out of transportation? If I am here now, I need to get out of this plane, I didn't come with a car, I would have had to carry the mass of my body to that road and hope that some taxi is carrying the mass of his car from Dubai and driving around, hoping that he will find somebody looking for a vehicle. But by what Uber and Bolt have done, they have taken that element of transportation of my person and transportation of the car out of it by telling me, oh, you want to go to so and so. There's a taxi waiting in Total over there. And they tell the taxi to wait in Total. There's somebody here trying to move, and we are linked. So with communication, they have removed that element, that extra element of transportation. I am an important element of transportation. And for all you care, you're only going there and tell somebody I love you, which I could have said by Zoom. Oh, not very easy to see. These are the richest individuals in the last century. Start from Henry Ford, all the way to Elon Musk. And you see that they are, oh, but this, I'm really sorry. I thought this would be. You see that the wealth over time. But the important thing is that 1930 to about 1940s, oil industry, auto industry, oil industry, real estate. Then came to 1990, Bill Gates, ICT. From then, no more auto, no more real estate. Out. Remember, oil is the essence that moves things. Oil is the source of energy that brings about movement. Then we now have ICT, telecoms, e-retailing, and all that, and all that, and all that. So that is the trend from about 1930s to now. Now, today, the richest people in the world, Jeff Bezos, e-retail. Elon Musk, information age entrepreneur. Bernard Arnault, an exception. That's these perfume people. But if you look at it, when more people become millionaires, more people can buy luxury goods. Then Bill Gates, but ICT, Mark Zuckerberg, same thing. So you can see that the trend is clear. That from 1940 up to 1990, it was oil, auto, real estate. Oil and transportation are the marks of the industrial age. From 1990 till date, it's been ICT, investment, telecoms, e-retail, and information age invention. That's a clear movement from transportation to communication. And that is just from the profile of the richest in the world. The richest people today are in online retail, information age invention, luxury goods, ICT, and social media, and all that. Look at this trend. These are the richest men in Africa. Aliko Dangote, trading, knowledge, transporting rice, cement. Nacelle, sewing, procurement, construction, mining, luxury good investment. Ooh, Amakadenuga, telecommunications, oil and gas. All that bit die hard. Then we go on and go on. Well, probably Strive must here down there. But you look at this is a different trend. But what do you say to this different trend as a Nigerian? Do you say, I'm going to run? I'm not following the world. But do you see it? Do you just see it as the economy is funny? Or do you see it as there is space for you up there? Do you see it as the richest man in Africa is expending energy in hauling goods, which ended in 1920-something? In other parts of the world, wow, I have access to this, that. I know some, I know how to create websites. I know this, I know that. There's space for me at the top. Make ICT, so to be able to derive this benefit of the space at the top, we need to make ICT accessible to Africans as Africans. No African should need to go and learn to speak English to be able to use ICT. No African should need to go and learn to speak French to be able to use ICT. And that's why we collaborated with Microsoft to create Windows and Office in Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. And I must confess that that was actually more symbolic than anything else, but at least it lays the background. Do you remember that until recent, no bank offers you an ATM in a Nigerian language? One even has the cheek of offering you French here in Abadi. So do you want English or French? And there's no option for Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, Birom. to what various languages that we speak. Now, remember the telephone revolution in 1998. I was at a big telecoms conference in South Africa, Africa Telecoms 98. And the Minister of Communications then boldly stood in front of the world and said, we have 500,000 telephone lines in Nigeria. 500,000. Then came GSM. They have over 100 million and still rising. Telephone line. Why did it happen? You didn't need to be able to speak English to use a telephone. And what was the glaring importance of that, well, not importance, but the glaring sign that that telephone thing means something? In Nigeria became Miss World for the first time. What was the role of the telephone in that? You had to call and vote. With 500,000 lines, there is no way Aknwale could have become Miss World. Because most of the people who have these 500,000 lines did not even know Miss World was going on. They didn't even care. But you and I had telephone, and, well, let me not say we voted. People voted. And Aknwale became Miss World because, number one, to speak English. You could speak the language the way you know it, and it works. And Nigerians voted. So we talk of the digital divide as the difference in capacities, in access, in opportunities between the people who have access to the tools that have made information the main index of wealth. People who have the capacity to inform and be informed. What are these facilities that make them possible? We need low, put in a marine cable. We say, hippie, we've got the cable. Oh, then fiber lines from Lagos into hinterlands. If we had managed we had legacy copper, the network of Nitel lines, we'll have still used it, but all abandoned. But at least we had new developments, microwave links. That was trying to bridge digital divide. But at the end of these devices is a last 6 inches. That's 6 inches between the terminal and the face of the user that can be bridged only by the preferred language of the user. And until we bridge that gap with our languages, our nuances, our cultural realities, our locales, by locales look at the world in terms of information. In the Western world, represented by English, there is AM, there is PM. In my culture, for example, there is Ajin, there is Yaleta, there is Aro, there is Okontari, there is Oson. More granulated and passes a lot more information than AM, PM. So we need to make the computers behave that way. The way the computer behaves is not the native behavior of computers. It is the behavior of the people who developed it. And I have said this over and over and over again, and it bears repetition. The first tool made by human beings in which the user cannot determine its use. It is the maker cannot determine its use. It's the user that determines the use. If somebody makes a knife and sells it to you, he's saying use it to cut. If somebody makes a car and sells it to you, or even if it dashes you, it means use it to move from A to B. If somebody makes a computer, it can never imagine what we use it. One day I was traveling from Lagos to Ibadan. I was in a taxi and it was in the evening. Some ideas came to my head and I brought out my computer and I was typing out a code to achieve something. And the thing worked and I was happy. And just as I was going to express my happiness to myself, the driver said, the extent to which you will enjoy the white man is the extent to how rich you are. And I thought to myself, this thing that I'm doing, I am solving a problem in Yoruba land. I mean, he just couldn't be in my world. He just cannot understand my world. So the point there is the computer is the first tool which can be made to do whatever you want. So there's nothing intrinsically Western, English, American, Russian, French, German, or whatever in the computer. There's no specific German way that the computer comes to us. It's the Germans that made it so for their own use. We need to make it so for our own use. So in order for us to embrace that E of e-commerce, it is not those of us here. If each of us here contributes money one for the other, after some time, it will become MMM. But when we get into Ojabodija, when we get into Bere, when we get into Alekusho, and we are able to deliver services that people want, and they're able to pay us for these services, we will start seeing that something interesting is happening. But as long as you go there with what my people call grammar, as though Yoruba doesn't have grammar, we will not be able to communicate, we will not be able to get across. But what I am saying is that the computer can make it possible. It is possible and it can be done. So Nigeria's wealth is a consequence of vestiges of the Industrial Revolution. Oil and all that. It is way out. If apart from the fact the commodity itself is wasting, because people are moving away from moving mass to communicating. They are moving away from transportation. Please understand it. Replace transportation with communication. A lot of the transportation we undertake is just for communication. Last 2 weeks ago, I was invited to the Lagos Comic Convention. Come and speak. Same kind of thing I'm saying. And I was shocked. About 15 Nigerian comic companies that make things like this. It says, Elaine is in me. This is a comic. And the whole idea is projecting Yoruba history in comic, kind of photo play kind thing. And there were 15 companies like this in Alausa in Lagos with about 10,000 guests in and out for the day. And I attended a number of the seminars, and young people, much younger than my children, were talking of the non-oil export industry. And I said, what do you mean? They said, no, we are exporting these things. How? Oh, we make the comics, we send them as PDF, they print them over there, sell them, and they put money in our account. I said, And I'm still struggling to make my children doctors. So, SOGO, things are happening. For you to, my time is up. For you to make sense in the world we live in now, the only thing you can sell is that belongs to you. You can't sell somebody else's thing. And this thing that we have, it is our inferiority complex that makes us think it is not of worth. If what we have is not of worth, the American Department of State will not come and build a center for Yoruba as a second language in the University of Ibadan. If it is not so, there will not be more Yoruba programs in American universities than there are in Nigerian universities. So we need to get out of that thinking that the only thing that matters is what you can do in English. You have to get out of that thinking that whoever really wants to use the computer should go and learn English. It's something for the elite. It's not for the elite. If you want to keep it for the elite, okay, get your small thing. But once you are able, we say Nigeria is 200 million people. How many of them have access to anything that you put in English? If you ask them, can you read and write? And they tell you yes, no problem. If you ask them, write your name, that's when the thing will start. But the fact that a person cannot read and write doesn't mean that he should live compromised life. Oh. We have soon moved. One of the things that the computer has given us is the ability to store information in multimedia. So if you meet an old man who is wise but can't write, take a tape recorder to him. You will get the same, in fact, better effects than writing, because anybody who cannot read and still access that information, it is a superior technology to writing. So we need to get out of this Oyibo thinking mold and think computer is an Oyibo thing. If we really, really want to get to the meat of e-commerce or the various E's, if we really want to turn our society into the so-called information society of the information age brought about by the information revolution, our people should not have to be made to change their lifestyle. They should only have to be given the opportunity to be able to use the computer as who they are. And guess what? You can change the computer in months. It takes years to change human being. And once that human being has changed, you go and pick the rest that have been born. And then there are more that have been born. And then there are more that have been born. But once you change the computer once, you have changed it for eternity. And that is the crux of my message. Many more slides, but I'll stop there for now. Thank you very much.
I think we can do a lot better than this. Are we going to do Q&A now, or would you mind if Kunle finishes and then we do a Q&A? You want to do your Q&A right now? You have to go. Okay, you don't have to go. I was thinking maybe we should allow Kunle to speak, then we put the two of them on stage and we do Q&A with them. What do you say? Huh? What do you say? Let's please come on. Let's. I hope you see why we need to reboot. Are you getting my point? Because we've been reproducing ourselves for a market that doesn't even exist, and we haven't been looking at the market that truly exists within our neighborhood, in our languages, in our own tongues, what our people need. It's completely being ignored. Let's appreciate Dr. Tunde Adegbola. We want to finish in time. We can steal from our lunch break, but we can't steal from our speaker. The next speaker. And sitting at the back there, I saw that the session we just listened to now can be taken for the rest of the 2 days without us breaking it at all. It's so loaded, so loaded. Many things were knocked out. I was in my own thinking before. The factors of production, you remember, and labor capital. He has knocked everything out here. Most of us are still looking for land. We're still looking for, when you talk to average young person, capital is my problem. But here, I guess during the question and answer, we might get back to that. Now it's time to bring up a very dynamic individual, a friend, a good friend, and very voracious and veracious. And should I continue? I should continue. I'm introducing Mr. Michael Aknwale, the General Manager, Rally Trade and Rally Academy. Does that sound familiar to you? He's an e-trader. You know, we've been talking about what is the E in commerce, right? E-trader and an online entrepreneur. He's trained by the London School of Business and Finance, and also London Academy of Trading. He has certification on technical analysis from Cyprus. He has gathered over 12 years of experience in financial trading and technical analysis. He has consistently organized several hours of webinars, seminars, workshops, and coaching on trading and financial market analysis. So it gives me great pleasure this afternoon to welcome on stage the man that will scatter this place now, Mr. Michael Aknwale. Come on, put your hands together for him.
Good morning. Good morning. The energy has been very low. I'm actually not from Ibadan, I'm from Lagos. You know, in Lagos, our energy is different. So I need the energy here to increase very fast. Are you with me this morning? Fine, we are here to talk about technology, but eventually that technology is supposed to get us to where? To achieve. Who can help us? Everything we are talking about today, technology, growth, development, what's the final objective of it? Money. And you can't be talking about money with this kind of energy you're talking about. Money will not come. Money requires what? Energy. Because it's money. Ego, owo. Are you with me this morning? And when we're starting from the back a little bit, just to, you know, we are moving towards afternoon. I just want to start from the end. Some of the things that Rally Trade has to offer today, I'll just run to the back and I come back to the beginning again. Don't worry, just wait 2 minutes. Okay. Today, I don't know, if you look at your brochure from Rally Academy, you see some numbers there. Can you see it? Can you see some numbers there? Please, those numbers are very important for today and tomorrow. Those are rough numbers. We didn't just come here to talk to you and educate you. We also came with gifts. You know, it is better to give than to receive. So, Rally Academy, we have some gifts for you here today. People are going to be going on with some educational DVDs. It's our understanding that this training does not end here. So there are some training materials we normally sell, apart from the free ones we gave to you. Did you see any free DVD in your brochure? That's also from Rally Academy. Apart from that free one, there are some others that we sell. We're going to be giving them out with a raffle draw. So people will win CDs, people are going to win books, people are also going to win free money for trading, 50,000 naira. Please, it's not like I'm going to give you cash here. But somebody will say, very good, when they give me cash. If I give you cash, some of you on your way home, you branch somewhere. And before you get home, the money will have gone. So we're going to be putting this money for as your capital to trade. I'll tell you about it when I'm talking about my stock. 50,000, 100,000, 150,000, as high as how much? 200,000 naira capital for people to start trading. Then in trading, there's also what we call bonus. Bonus is extra capital that the broker gives people to trade. So we're going to be giving out today 150% bonus, 175% bonus, and 200% bonuses. People are going to be winning that today. So please, those numbers on your brochure, make sure you are keeping them very close to you, because that might be your winning number. Are you with me? Then we're also going to give out Android phone. One of the tools that you need for doing business online is a good phone. So Rally Academy, we're also going to give out phones, free phones, and what? Tablets today in this program, today and tomorrow. All right? Apart from that, also, We're also going to be serving you light refreshments. This one is 100% courtesy of who? Rally Academy. Put your hands together for us, please. All right? So don't worry about your stomach. As you are here, just focus on the business. Are you with me? All right? And if you are feeling sleepy, do we have a coffee corner here? Because this is a non-sleeping arena. If you are feeling there's a restaurant there, they should have coffee. When you take a cup of coffee, you notice you wake up. Are you with me? Having like refreshment, and I can tell you it's going to be a very, very beautiful day that we have here. So let me go back to the beginning again, just to show you what I have for you this morning, right? And I'm going to be starting by putting this training together, and that company is called Rally Trade. Rally Trade is a financial service company that offers brokerage services on how to trade on the global financial market. So we're a broker first. And then the other company, which we call Rally Academy, is the education arm of that Rally Trade. So we created the academy to educate people about how to trade on the global financial market, but not just how to trade on the market. We also train you on how to trade in e-commerce, e-business, and other entrepreneurship skills that you need to start earning money from the internet so that you can add to your current stream of income. This morning, I just confirmed. How much is dollar? 582. Yes. 582 this morning. So if you are sleeping, but Buhari is waking you up, hello? You know, when this man says, Soji, Buhari is surging you, whether you want to surgery or not. So this word income is becoming very critical in the question of Nigerians now. If you are not adding to your income, you are sleeping. Why? Look at the rate of inflation that we have in the country right now. Right now, Rally Trade, we have office in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Abuja, and in Ibadan here. All right? And we have partner and training centers in Ilorin, Owerri, Kano, Warri, and several cities where we're able to reach Nigerians on how to trade online. All right? Now, let me start very fast. Where's my time? I need to know how much time I have. 20 more minutes. No, it's not possible. Let me look at the time. Now, let me really jump into it right now. There are two foundations for wealth creation now. Whether we Buhari was coming, said there'll be what? Has it not changed? Things have changed, sir. In this day and age, if you are thinking of money, or when I say wealth, you see, wealth and money is not the same. Wealth is having a borehole. Money is overhead tank. Water in your overhead tank can finish. What do? You pump from where? The borehole. So wealth is a borehole, not overhead tank. And if you want to create new wealth, there are two variables you must have. Number one is multiple streams, and second is what? Internet. Let me run through it very fast. Number one, data has shown that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. So if you want to be a millionaire, and please, millionaire is not $1 million naira, it's $1 million what? USD. That's about 570 million naira in your account. 582 million in your account. So if you want to be a millionaire, sir, no matter what, you need an average of 7 streams of income. Also, King Solomon wrote it. He said, invest in what? 7 businesses. Even more. Why? You don't know what coronavirus is coming on the planet. You know when coronavirus came, the rich became richer. Because they had backup plans for when things like this happen. Punishable by some days in prison. Never depend on what is. You know this man, Jeff Bezos. His major business is Amazon, right? Now, we always thought that Amazon.com was the only business of Amazon, but no, Amazon itself is multiple what? Businesses. And you can see it from there. One of Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook, multiple what? Businesses. What of Alphabet? Alphabet is the company that owns Google. Now, because of the size of Google, you would think Google would be the only business of Google. But no, Google is of the company called Alphabet. What of Jack Ma? Alibaba? Is it one business? God forbid. What of Richard Branson? Over 400 companies, one person. Don't you think you need to call a federal executive council meeting of yourself? Please call yourself to a meeting. If you are here, you can't run two business. Call yourself to you can run 10, 400. And I've been showing you white guys who say it's because they're in America. Good. What of this man? Aliko Dangote. Is it one business? No. This is to show you clearly, sir. If you are thinking of money, thinking of wealth, multiple streams of what? Income. Now, think of your income as a table. If your income has one leg and they break the leg, what happens to the income? It's gone, it collapses. If your income has multiple legs and they break the leg, what happens? The table is what? Standing. Listen, the problem we have in Nigeria is because Nigeria has how many income? One major income. So most of our problem is not Buhari's problem, it's the time and chance that's happening to us. Are you with me this morning? So I tell people, listen to me, please. You are a Nigerian. Don't behave like who? Nigeria. Having one source of what? Income. Let's go to internet becomes so important in the creation of money. Very fast. This man wrote this several years ago. If your business is not the major companies that are sponsoring this funny program on TV, what's it called now? Is this Small Brother they call it? You know Small Brother? Hello? You know, when you watch Big Brother, eventually you become a small brother. Hello? Because when you watch it, most of the time you're wasting your time. But let me bring out value from it. There are two companies sponsoring. They're called Abeg and who? Patricia. Please, before Big Brother, who knew these companies? Nobody. There are small companies online. But this guy has dropped how much? 3 billion to sponsor the program. Why? And sponsor that program. But today, small boys online can drop 3 billion for the program. It lets you know that if you are not online, you're gone. Another reason is that the biggest companies in the world are online now. It lets you know that money has moved online. Number one, 2017, you can see the biggest companies in the world: Google, Apple, Amazon. By 2018, you can see them also, biggest companies in the world. By 2020, you can't even see any offline company anymore. 20 years ago, Mobile was the largest company in the world. Today, Mobile is not in first 100. Why? Money has left oil. Money is where now? Online. Another reason you must be online is that you have to find a way to make money while you are sleeping. When you are sleeping and you are making money, you discover that money is not as stressful as they say it is. And money that you make while you are sleeping is sweeter than money that you make when you are awake. So you have to find a way to make money while you are sleeping. If not, you might work until you die. God forbid. God forbid. By the time a man is around 50, you should stop working so much. You should just be in relaxed mode. Why? To be sleeping and making money. So that's why we are doing what? We are rebooting. We're going to be looking, because this is just like introduction we are giving to you. After this session, we're going to go into groups to look at different topics. Social media. Not for playing, but for making money. Not just money, residual income. How to use technology to me. If you don't know digital marketing, you can't succeed in any business right now. You can't. So these are courses you have to do to start or to go online. And finally, also look at how to trade online. This is where Rally Academy is. Our own business, majorly, is trading where? Online. So let me quickly introduce you to online trading in 10 minutes. It's a crash course. Let me introduce you to online trading in 10 minutes so that you understand if it's a business you want to do. What is online trading? Let's do it very fast. Introducing it to what? And it's called what? E-trading. We also call it e-trading, online trading. We all know that E means what now? Electronic. Let me ask you, whatever you can see or touch, what is it? In Nigerian mindset, you can't see it, you can't touch it. What is it? Spiritual. So e-trading means spiritual. The same way you have spiritual money now. Hello? You can be without cash in your pocket, but you are not moved. Why? You know your money, you have spiritual access anytime. Yes, now. So we have spiritual. What is spiritual now? So we are spending spiritual what? Money. So what is spiritual trading? Let me tell you why I like to use the word spiritual. You see, that word electronic, like we was talking, Dr. Adegbola was talking earlier. You see, language is important in understanding. That word electronic, it doesn't have meaning to us. It's not our language. But spiritual does it have meaning? That's meaning. Because we are more spiritual than Oyinbos. Yes or no? Yes. So spiritual what? Trading. What is spiritual trading? There are several reasons why, for me, trading is superior to other businesses. Let me run through them in just 2-3 minutes. Number one is that trading does not require strength, only sense, which means your age or your sex doesn't matter, sir. Whether you're a man or a woman, you can trade. Or you are young or you are old, you can trade. So your age or your sex has no such consequence. Secondly, is that you don't need to know the governor to succeed. You don't need to know people in high places. The only connection you need is internet connection, and the internet is not a respecter of person. It is garbage in, garbage out, value in, value out. That means anybody can come online and succeed. That's why I love it. Are you with me this morning? So if you are here, you think you need somebody, you don't need anybody. The only thing you need is the education we are giving you. Go online and succeed. Are you with me this morning? All right? Several other reasons why I love e-trading. Number one, you can work from home. You don't have a boss, no employees, no selling or inventory collection, no competition. You can start very small, unlimited income potential, immediate income. You can do it part-time, full-time, or 24 hours a day. You can even do trading at a leisure. Do you know in China now, because China is the biggest market for online trading now, you will see somebody who is selling carrots, pawpaw, fruits under his table. He has a laptop. What's he doing? He's trading. So trading can easily become an extra stream of income for you. You don't have to leave what you are doing now. You can start trading on the market. Now, is it possible to succeed in this business? That's the problem people have. And I'm going to be using 2 examples to show you. One is the story. The other one are practical examples. Now, because I'm a broker, I can go to my CRM. Do you know what CRM is? If you don't know, write it down. It's not good. CRM means customer relationship management. Every company that has a lot of human beings will always have a CRM. So that if I need to access your data, I just have a unique identifier for you. I plug it in and all your details will come out. So for instance, you go to the bank and you want to check your balance. Will they bring out the file? No, they just go to their system, collect your account number, and your details come out. That's the CRM, customer relationship management. So let me try and show you, for instance. I have a client, for instance, whose name is Collins what? He's a Nigerian. He actually came for a conference like this, January this year, in Abuja. And from there, he started trading. Now let me show you what a trading activity can look like for a client. So when you trade, you always start with what we call a deposit. What's the deposit? Deposit is the money you are putting to start trading. So you started with how much? No, is it $1 million? 100K. Now, the same way, some people are going to be giving 100K here today. If you are giving 100K, you don't need to go and look for 100K again. You can start with it. Are you with me? So this guy started with 100K. You can see the date. February what? 15. This year, exactly 247 in the afternoon. Pay deposit. Now, when you start trading and you start making profit, what do you begin to do? Now, you see, when you deposit, you are taking your money from physical to spiritual so that your money can fight spiritual warfare. Hello? But by the time you are making profit, you are withdrawing, you are taking the money from the spiritual to where? Where you can spend it. So look at the guy's statement here, for instance. So he deposited in February. By what month is 05? May. How many months later? 3 months. Why? He needed to still learn. You have to learn, you have to practice, you have to develop yourself on the business, then you start trading to start making profit. And you can see 3 months later, how much you withdraw first. With this 300, is it profitable already? Yes. But guess what? How many days later? 2 days later, he withdrew how much? 2 million. The next day, he withdrew how much? 1 million. How many days later again? We do under 1 million, 300, 500. Please, if you're able to withdraw money like this from a business, is it profitable? And is the profit, is it manageable? Hello? Is it manageable? Yes. At least remember, it's only one of your stream of income. So the gap between his deposit and his first withdrawal is that he has to what? Learn. You don't make money overnight, you make money over time. You must put that gap to learn. One major challenge I have in Nigeria is that some of us, is yesterday, we need the money. So when you come into any business, by tomorrow, you're looking for profit. It takes what? Time. Look at this other guy. He's even more aggressive. Inamdi, Simon. I would have added his phone numbers, but those people will be calling him. Say, Mr. Inamdi, I saw your statement. Are you selling me somebody? So we normally hide their phone numbers. Now, this guy has a shorter statement. He started with how much? 600,000, January 25th. 2 months later, how much did he withdraw? 11 million. He's a more dangerous person. Then the next day, how much? 5 million. And then about a month later, he withdrew how much again? 5 million. Now let me ask you, if you are able to achieve this, is it manageable? So let me show you now how these guys are able to make what they are making. Because trading, you see, when I started coming online, I started with all this e-marketing, digital marketing. But I discovered that every business requires you to be able to control human being. Hello? For instance, I need you to buy a product from me. I must be able to control you, yes or no? Yes. Trading is the only business that you are the one in control of everything. You don't need any human being. No sales, no marketing. Sit down with your computer screen, know what you are doing, and then you are making your profit in your bedroom. That's one reason why I try to focus on trading. When they were reading my profile, they said, London School of Business and Finance. No, I didn't start from there. I started from mechanical engineering from University of Ibadan. But today, there's no engineering in my life. This was in my life. Look at this guy, Believtus. This guy was the first guy that was interviewed in the book, New Market Wizard. They actually called him the Sultan of what? Currency. Guess what? This guy started by studying architecture, but eventually became a trader. The first thing I learned from this story is this. Your background also doesn't matter. Hello? Your what? Your background doesn't matter. I don't care what you have read in school. You can do well in trading. It's even better if you have not gone to any school. So I tell people, if you have not gone to school, don't go. Hello? If you are here, you haven't gone to school, don't go. Hello? And if you're in school, drop out. Hello, I'm joking. Oh. Hello? That was a joke. If you're in school, go to school. And if you have not gone, try and go. That was a joke. Because I know somebody is already thinking not to go to school. So as I'm saying it, you are feeling it's a confirmation. Please, go to school. But please, if you're a student here, you're in school, don't be thinking like a student. That's business. You prepare for war in the time of peace. So when you are in school, start doing something. Start doing something. This guy had no background in trading, and he became one of the most successful traders in the world. You can go and read his autobiography. Just Google his name, Believe Truth. So let me show you how trading works. I have just about 11 minutes. Let me show you how trading works, and now you can start doing it. What is financial trading? When you look at the word financial and trading, they are two very simple words. And these two words cover a world of opportunities. Now, like all trading, it's an exchange of ownership of value, or simply buying and selling of financial instruments. Now, when I say financial instruments, you have things like shares, currencies, indices, commodities. Now, as a person, you can decide to trade all of them or just choose one. Why? Because the whole idea benefit from what? Movement in price, which simply means you are buying low and selling high. And because price is always moving, it gives you opportunity to make what? Profit. And I've shown you the kind of profit you can make monthly. So let's look at how to make that profit now. Remember, what are the things you are trading? Shares, currencies, it is a what? Commodities. What are stocks? Stock is an ownership share in a company. That's one. What are commodities? Commodities are basic goods that are used in commerce. What's the currency? A currency is a bill of exchange. Currency is a bill of exchange that serves as a legal tender, having a purchasing power and empowered by government of a nation for payments of debt, payments of goods and services in a particular what? Jurisdiction. And because everybody understands currency, let's use currency as a case study to show you how it works very fast. All right? So let me use a typical example to show you. Remember, March last year, dollar was how much? 380. If you had 38 million naira, you could have bought how much? $100,000. By August, dollar became how much? 480. If you sell your dollars, how much do you collect? 48 million. Is it profitable? How much profit? Now let me ask you, is this real or is theory? Is it real? Are there real human beings who make money like this? Yes. Since last year, I've been telling people who have money. When I say money, it's not 1 million naira, 2 million. That's not money. If you have real money, 10 million and above, change it to dollars. Something. Some people are laughing about it. Hello? When you are in traffic and you are not happy you are in traffic, the people who are selling pure water is happiness for them. As you see dollar is going up, some of us are happy. Hello? Sorry about it. I can't help your case. People are making money with it. It's the problem. But it's equals to what? Listen, when you travel Benin or Express, all those potholes, who is digging it? It's those boys that are selling things. They will get a problem. Because the problem is profit for them. When there's this, how come there's nothing stopping people on the road? Why? Your problem is money for them. So this is how people make money with what? Simple trading. It's simple. The only difference is that while you are doing this physically, online, everything is electronic. You're just buying and selling on your phone. Are you seeing it now? So this is how trading works. Let's not do a typical example looking at the real market. All right? I'm trying to manage my time very well. I have just 7 minutes. This is how the market looks like. Price is always moving up and down. If you want to see it practically, we have a booth there. Our booth is over there. And we have a big screen there. If you want to see the market moving, or even when we are doing our training. Our training will be in the other hall there. It's called the garden hall, the hall at the back there. We're going to be doing complete training for you. If you want to see the market moving live, come to my booth there or go to the training room there. We're going to see how the market moves. So market is always moving up and down. So for instance, the market moves from point A to point B. And point A to point B can be a month. And the price moves how many points? 961 points. And normally, when the price is going down, you sell. When the price is going up, what do you do? Price go to point B, it closes sell. And the price moved 961 points. How much profit is that? 9,000 plus in a month. If you are in Ibadan and you are making average of $10,000 monthly, let me ask you, is it not manageable? Hello? When they ask you, how is Sheyi doing? Say, Sheyi is doing well. Nothing concerns you and Sheyi again. You know what I'm saying? Don't have business with Sheyi. So this is how trading works. And you don't need a special gadget. All of you here, you already have the gadgets that it takes. Either your laptop, your Android phone, or your tablet. So this is how it works. Now, let me now show you where the major training is needed in this business. Remember, how do you know where to go? Case scenario. Case scenario. Price move for point A. 3 things could have happened. Instead of going to point B, it could have gone to point upward, neutral, or down. So the question is this: how are traders able to do what? Forecast. Whether it's going up or going down. Because when you can predict where the price is going, or we call it forecast, then you can consistently do this business. All right? And there are 3 ways to learn it. Number 1, we call it technical what? Analysis. The second one you will learn is what we call, now you see, when you are doing technical, what you are doing is that you are using the charts to predict. But guess what? Every day, they keep creating technology to improve stuff. So these days, we have softwares that can predict where the market will go for you. So when you install the softwares do the analysis, and they'll tell you buy or sell. So for instance, now in Rally Academy, we have some of them that we normally use. Look at this one now. It's called People Wealth. You can see that arrow there. But let me show you from the lower one here that I can touch. Can you see this arrow there? The arrow will be appearing at different points, telling you whether to buy or to sell. So those softwares, you can them to play with the market. In this business, that's what we call demo account. What's a demo account? It's a practice account that you can use to start learning in the you can then start with your real resources. So you start it without taking any risk. Are you with me? All right? After technical, you learn fundamentals. What's fundamentals? News. The news from a country affects the currency of that country. Let me ask you, what's driving Naira, dollar to keep going up against Naira right now? Is it Aboki FX? It's not Aboki FX. They shut Aboki FX down. But dollar is still going. Yeah, no, let's leave that one. Don't have time for. I knew since last year, that's why it's going to 600. It's called fundamentals. And lastly, that's what we call sentimental analysis. We are going to be taught about all these analysis methods and our training in the other hall there. So by the time we start the training session, just come to the other hall there. We're going to be teaching you all of these things in Rally Academy. But before we talk about the training here, there are 2 things we need in this business. Number 1 is what? Knowledge. Please, I'm happy you are here because you like knowledge, but the knowledge doesn't start. If you really want to learn this business, you have to like to learn. We are talking about money, and making money. You must like to what? Learn. And secondly, softwares. You know, while Dr. Adegbola was talking now, I was talking with my colleague. I said, why don't we see how we can turn our platform to Yoruba? We can change the platform from just being English to Yoruba trading platform. Talking about what? Software. Because you can't remove technology from business in this day and age. So you need to have the right softwares. Now, after that, how do we start? For you to start this business is fine. We're going to be starting from here with the training we're going to give you. But please, if you really want to start this business, our office is at, what's the address now? Please check the brochure we gave to you. Number, is it second floor? Wade House. A1, Aknwale Way, very complex address. Aknwale bus stop, Regroup, just here. You can even stroll to the place. Check your brochure, please. The address at the back. You will see all my office address there. So the office address is there. If you are really interested in learning about these businesses, come to our office. We'll start the training for you here. Are you getting me now? But the office. When there's nothing wrong, you can still come to the office and come and learn about the training. So, for instance, now by Wednesday and Thursday, there's a 2-day training. You can come from my office to come and complete your learning. And the question is this: how much is my training? Guess how much it is? How can you say it's free? You have to pay. This one is free. The one in my office is not free. Guess how much? It's actually free of charge. Hello? So there's nothing stopping you. Whether it is this week, next week, anytime you are free, the office is open. You can come there and come and learn how trading works and how you make money. But you see, even though the training is free, there are 3 things you have to do. You have to open an account with us. Please, if you want to open an account with us, can't miss it. Riley Academy, that's the book there. And you give them away from Riley Academy, please. You can see those people there. See it? So you can meet them. You have a sheet. You fill the sheet. You go online and open a trading account for you. And also, you need to submit a valid ID card. Are you getting me now? Talk to you in our booth there. So let's take some questions. Because my time is already up. Okay, thank you very much. God bless you. I will see you at our booth today. We are there today and tomorrow.
Please, can we put our hands together again? Please, can you help me? We need to remove this podium, please. Can you help me? Blessed? I can't hear you. Are you blessed? Chair, we're blessed. Okay. All right. While that is going on, I want to invite Dr. Adegbola to please step forward. Uncle T.A. Wow. I told you that Mr. Aknwale will scatter this place. Has he scattered it? Okay. You know, bringing these 2 people together is like it's like an impossible compound. Yeah, sir. Okay. Okay. Quickly now, we will take questions because of our time. Our time is running. We need to know if you have a question. Please, can we have you signify 1? Please, can you come, sir? Can you step forward? Number 1, number 2. Can you step forward to this side, sir? Number 3, can you also step forward? Yeah, can you come also to this side? I need 1 more person on this side, and then we hold it for now until we take their question. 1 person here. These people here are so good. They don't have questions. All right. Quickly introduce yourself, and then to who the question is.
All right. Thank you much. My name is Samuel Ichendi. I once attended the training with.
Who is the question to what? Okay, Mr. Aknwale.
I once attended. Now is as we do trading with them, and we also do crypto trading now.
Can you also do
crypto trading?
Crypto trading.
Yes.
Do you notice that? You've noted that. All right, thank you. This side, you can take your seat.
My question is also for him.
For him.
Okay.
Yeah,
my name is Tunde.
Right.
And I came all the way from Lagos.
From Lagos. So yes. Please let's appreciate him.
What I want to ask him is there a possibility of Zoom, because technology has gone way forward now, and we can actually do Zoom training.
Zoom training?
Yes, that's what I want to ask him. Is that possible?
Yes, noted. Thank you. Is it also for him? No. Madam, is it for him? For Dr. Adegbola? For the two of them? Okay. All right, let's have your question.
My name is Theophilus Adeleke. I would like to ask Dr. Adegbola, in the process of moving from transportation to communication, in global scalability, in building a business around that, how do we consider global scalability? Because, like you have even said, that there are more universities studying Yoruba and local languages than even here. So global scalability.
Global
scalability of building a business around that. Then secondly is considering because the primary market is here, and considering the peculiarity of Nigeria, for example, the education, when you look at statistics on education, statistics on disposable income, how do you marry this and still have a lot of buying from our primary market, which is Nigeria?
Okay, good. Those two questions. All right, noted. Final for this session.
You see, Aknwale, the first question goes to the e-trading.
Okay.
Like when he was talking, he just mentioned that just in a day, the government woke up and closed down Aboki Express. How stable is Rally Academy? Is it not possible for the government in a day to so Dr. Adegbola, it's not really a question, but personally, minutes for him to finish.
Okay.
And what I had during those 20 minutes blew my. I remember in 1977, wow, when I was transferred to a school here in Ibadan, UMC school. They said there was no space. I was going to primary 4. They said there was no space for the regular school. That the only classes that are available are 2 classes, and they are called project class. And what is the project about? It's a Yoruba class. That everything in that class, those classes are taught in Yoruba. And I spent 2 years in that class before I went into secondary school. Everything was except English language. But I want to believe things are seasonal, because after I left in 1978, I had difficulty in merging in the society because of the language. But after a while, secondary school, university, and everything, I balanced up. But I found out that my Yoruba language is so. I just want to compliment what he's saying. Because it was a voice note, I kept on listening to it, and I couldn't imagine I was the one that prayed in Yoruba like that. So I'm really so much blew my mind that this is the time, this is the season, to bring our language into the.
So we'll start from Dr. Tunde Adegbola.
Hello. The first question is about global scalability, because I was talking about replacing transportation with communication, and he was asking, how do we achieve global scalability without transportation? You notice that when I was talking about Uber and Bolt, I made the point that there were certain foremost. The main distinction between plants and animals is movement, and movement is an endowment of the animal species. Now, but the thing is, because we are able to move and we have used it to our advantage, we are using movement to solve problems that don't demand movement. And in the because movement demands energy. So when we talk about global scalability, I am not saying that we will not move goods from UK to Nigeria, or by God's grace, Nigeria to UK, because that one by now, I've not done enough about it yet. I'm not saying that will not happen, but I am saying the useless movement around it can be eased off. A lot of what I do today, I don't do it for Nigerians. I work, people who employ me are never had to buy an air ticket, do their work, and they have never had to send a bullion van to me, pay me. So I have been able to scale globally in my area of work because I work essentially in the knowledge industry. There are other areas of work that have essential transportation. In such areas, we should seek to make the transportation as efficient as possible, replacing the ones that are not necessary with communication rather than going on with transportation. The second question, I seem to have mixed up now. No. The person who started, but of course, of the language one, yes. That I thank you for supporting me. In fact, you speak better English than the people who are in English class. You can test it now. If you went to an English class, come and talk. I was trained as an engineer. I was taught ET at Eyo. That is how I learned mathematics. And it has become almost impossible anywhere in the world without having to say a few things in Yoruba, because I am able to think through things better in Yoruba. And when I now translate it into English, anywhere I have been, was it at the UNESCO or at MIT or wherever, they say, that was profound. I just laugh. It is my heritage. The same way Soyinka used his heritage to get Nobel Prize. Of Soyinka, Professor Akinwumi Ishola, who translated Ake, the years of childhood, to Ake Nigba Ewe, said, Ojúlówó Yorùbá ni Soyinka ń fi ìjìnlẹ̀ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì sọ. That it is in wonderful English. So it is difficult to convince people because for now, English is the language of administration, It's the language of education. It's the language of opportunities. But if you can scale it, if you can just jump and see, yes, all that, it is important. And that is where I am working. I'm working at that screen. And that's why I'm able to, anywhere in the world I go, when I talk, I say, well, I have to say this in Yoruba, and I will translate it. And if I don't fully succeed, whoever else who understands Yoruba here can compliment me. And when, during break, and I say, what did you really understand? The other person says something, I say, that is true. I now understand it, but I say, yes, that's it. I mean, this thing called translation is at best equivalent and approximations. But when you know it, when you understand it, it's in.
Thank you, sir. Before Mr. Aknwale takes, any other question? One. I'm not taking it. I just want to have an idea. One. Only one person.
There's one person there.
Okay. Two people. Okay, we'll take him and then we'll take your question.
Really showing it here on the board now. We have 3 ways in which you can attend our training. Number one is that you can watch videos online. So you can access it anytime. You don't have to wait for anybody. Just go to the rally.academy, register there. And the third one is the physical one. I can still tell you, because we are still learning technology with all these other methods, the physical one is still the most effective. And if you're in Lagos, you can go to the Lagos office. You don't have to come to Ibadan, you understand? But you can also always schedule a Zoom training to actually learn about it. Immediately you open an account with us, there's something called an account officer. One of my staff will be dedicated to you. When the person calls you and talks to you, just tell him you want a Zoom training. They'll schedule it for you, and then you get the Zoom link, and then you attend the training. So it's that straightforward. The second part is crypto. I think everybody here knows what crypto is. If you don't know crypto is, crypto that is Bitcoin and other coins, understand? Even though CBN seemed to want to make it look negative initially, everybody seems to. About a month ago. Now, crypto can be very volatile. Bitcoin went from about 60,000 to 30,000. It can be very volatile. And because of that, Rally Trade doesn't have crypto on their platforms yet. As I'm saying, we don't have crypto. You can't trade crypto. All you can trade is currencies, commodities, and indices. So New York Exchange, London Exchange, all those, that's the things you can trade. We don't have crypto yet. If you want to trade crypto, go to my booth there. Thank God you have knowledge. You can introduce you to other platforms that have crypto. If you're really, interested in crypto, you can introduce to other platforms that have crypto where you can trade crypto. And please, everybody here, we are not treating crypto in this conference, but please learn about crypto. We have a DVD there. It's not free. You have to buy it on how to trade crypto. You have to learn it. CBN now is starting what? E-Naira. So if CBN is going to E-Naira and you are saying, no, I don't want to know about it, they're going to leave you behind. The future of money is crypto. That's what you can do about it. So the faster you learn it and begin to invest a little in it, you'll be surprised how much $100 or $20 you put in some crypto can be in the next 5 years. See, that's second. Number 3, Madam said the way they shut down Aboki FX and they shut down Rally Academy that way. Well, Nigeria is quite a funny country, very volatile. And why even the industry of online trading is being regulated in Nigeria now. We are having and CBN every day on regulating the industry. What is a regulation? Regulation is an a country having an oversight function of that company. But let me say this, even though it's not regulated in Nigeria now, all the brokers, including Rally Trade, we are not Nigerian based. We are foreign based. It's not Nigerian. So we are regulated globally. We let you know your money is safe. Because those regulations are even more important than CBN. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Because you are not trading a Nigerian market, you are trading a global market. So you have nothing to worry about. Do you understand me? Do you know when CBN shut down Bookie FX, they couldn't shut down the website? Whether it's still there, they cannot shut it down. It's global. What they did with, what's the other one that they shut down? Twitter is another level entirely, federal government level, not CBN. For instance, if you go to the UAE, there's some websites you cannot visit in the UAE. Why? At the government level, you can shut down the website, but no individual company can just shut down somebody's website. No, you can't. That's why.
Thank you very much. Two more questions. Please, can you step forward? We're still doing good with time. Straight to the point. Yes, after now. Yes, for the breakout people. Please, can you come closer? The microphone for him. Done with questioning. Before we go for lunch, we'll still have a pitching section. Short introduction of what the breakout people will do after that. They will come here and then quickly share it with us. So quickly.
All right. Thank you. While you were talking, I'd like to know, personally for me, I believe online trading is a risk. I've had and I've seen so many people taking that risk and have lost so much. A lot of people are in debt because of online trading. That's like Forex. I know of someone that borrowed so much to do Forex. I just need to know that for people coming for your training, are you going to tell them before they take the risk, before I'm going to deposit like $1 million or so, what is the risk? Are you going to tell me that if I lose the money, so that I won't develop a kind of BD or something? So, I believe you are going to tell and train people about, so that people, you know, a lot of us in Nigeria, we love to invest, real money from 100,000 to 12 million. Before you know, someone goes to borrow. Please, I believe you are going to teach.
Part of it. Especially black.
The question to him. All right.
My name is Adegbola. What makes Forex trading different from gambling? Because even with these analysis, fundamentals, analytical, and all that, it does not successfully guarantee successful trading. After putting all those things in place before you place your trading, because I make several attempts, even with demo, I never succeeded. Putting all the necessary analysis and all that in place. So what makes it different from gambling? Can you be assured success after considering those factors before you make your trade? Then two, I know of my friends who are doing very fine, in trading before, to the point of millions and billions of naira. And all of a sudden they crash. What happened? There are several things that could not be explained. What makes someone that has been using a tool and the tool is, has been successful trading with it, and all of a sudden the same analysis, the same tool went all the way around? Thank you very much.
Okay, very good questions. This man was asking, are we going to talk about risk? Now, let me say this. We are in a very peculiar country. Let me tell you the challenge, the major challenge we have in Nigeria is there is one word, and that word is called greed. Hello? The word is called what? Greed. One the only reason why a lot of people who will tell you they have issue in trading is that most of the time there is high level of greed. You will see somebody, for instance, who wants to be making 500% monthly. Challenges. Do you know, as a trader, for instance, how much interest does bank give now on your deposit? How much does bank give now? So you can't get 10% in the bank. Less than 3. So let me ask you, if you are doing 20% a month, does it make sense? What about 50%? Does it make sense? Yes. But if you go and check very well, sir, most of the time when you hear of losses, the challenge is that people are trying to double money very fast, very fast, very fast. For instance, now let me give you a case scenario. Let's assume I start with 100K, and in 1 month, my 100K, that's 1 million. All right? You see that same Nigerian, you want to take that money from 1 million to 10 million the next month. If he succeeds in that, you want to take the 10 million to where now? 100 million. Now, let me ask you, to convert 1 million to 10 million and 100,000 to 1 million, 1 million to 10 million. Is it the same thing with 10 million to 100 million? The variables have changed. Your personality cannot undo it. Are you getting me? The problem most of the time when it comes to trading is emotions. It's greed. As long as you are ready to grow, you see, growing up and jumping up, they are two different things. Whatever jumps up will come down. Anything that grows up stays up. I have accounts I've been running for years on very conservative profit, and they are there, no risk. If you want to see them, come to my booth there. I'll show you some accounts. Are you getting me now? I've been trading for a long time. The problem, sir, is not that market is risky. We are a peculiar people. I was at the UK embassy place, UK visa. And normally at the UK embassy, they give all of us time. They'll tell you come at 1. It's you that chose the time. Do you know me that I was there for 8 o'clock? People who were supposed to be for 11 were at the gate. They don't want me to enter. Okay, your time is 11. We are in a hurry. It's a serious problem. We are in what? Hurry. There's an investment company called something MBA. You hear about it? It's an investment company. Last year, Nigerians invested 181 billion in this company. How much? 181 billion. You know why? The company says they are paying 20% every month. So you see Nigerians money from the bank. When you borrow, maybe this 10% interest, you go and put it. Are you getting me now? So those are the major issues. It's not that the market is the problem. It's the human being that is the major challenge. If you can control your emotion, you will do any business. That's one. Number two, on something has been working. All of a sudden, it's not working. Let me tell you the problem. Were you in Nigeria in the time of Wonder Banks? Were you in Nigeria? Good. I had some friends I was privileged to meet who were running Wonder Banks. How did they start? They were putting up money in the Nigerian stock market, 1,000, 20,000. And in 2 months, 20K becomes 40K. When they saw the thing was working, they said, you know what? Why don't we start collecting people's money and start putting it in the Nigerian stock market? After a while, money was coming in like they didn't expect. The money was not too much to put in the Nigerian stock. Now, these are people that started with 20,000, 40,000. All of a sudden, people now put 1 billion in their accounts. What will happen to them? No, they will crash. Number one, to manage 20,000, 50,000, it's not the same thing with managing 1 billion. The problem, like I said, is that people want to jump up. It's what happened to us, Poppy. Hello? We like fast. We like to say, I started yesterday. You know, it's like testimony in church. Yesterday, I was poor. Today, I'm a billionaire. That's the problem. Money takes what? Time. If you will settle, listen, trading is a very viable business. But if you are in a hurry, you will crash. Because the business allows you to be in a hurry if you want to be. In the business, it is called leverage. The brokers in trading, they give you leverage. What's a leverage? Capacity to do more with little. Why do you think if you are not above 18, they will give you driver's license? Why? They feel at that age, you can't control the speed of a car. You might overspeed because the cars, let me ask you, why didn't Toyota, since they don't want 80 can kill you, put the car on 100? They expect you will be mature to manage. Has the problem. So when you see anybody who is doing well, all of a sudden it crashes, is because his knowledge level has stopped at the capacity of the money he's managing at that time. He needs to relax, gain more knowledge before he moves. But we think life is just straightforward. Let me ask you, what Dangote is using to run his business 10 years ago? Is it what he's using to run it now? No, things have changed. Trading is the same. Markets change. So it's not a straight line. It's a process. So that's why you keep learning and keep developing. Are you getting me, sir? So those are the answers. Gambling. Oh, now you say what's the difference between trading and what? Now let me tell you why trading is not gambling. This place where we are inside is an event center. Before the person who started it, they must have done some analysis, have we? To find out, is there a need for event center? It was based on that need, they created the event center. They also chose location, several variables. Now let me ask you, is it all event center in Ibadan that is doing well? Talk to me, sir. Is it all? No. Did they gamble? No. It's analysis. And not all analysis is correct. Now, what's the difference between analysis and gambling? Analysis is to do this, to improve your odds. So that if I start this business, I do some market analysis. There's a need for this product, and I start selling it. It's different from what can I start selling? Okay? Give me an example. Pure water. Oh yeah. That's pure water factory. That's the gamble. Analysis is, let's discover how much are pure water companies making in Ibadan. Which ones are making it? What is different about them? But let me ask you, after that analysis, does it guarantee success of pure water business? No. But the who does analysis to start several businesses will succeed more on the long term, right? Then the guy just say, doing center, no dancing. That's the gamble. The guy who does analysis will not be right all the time, but eventually will be profitable. Why? Because analysis improves your odds. That's not a gamble. The challenge is that you expect analysis to be accurate, to be giving you results all the time. Trading is not about being profitable all the time. It's about being profitable most of the time. So your profitabilities exceed your losses, and then you are profitable. Listen, do you think all bank branches are profitable? No, yet they did analysis before they built them. But they don't expect all to be profitable. That's why they build many, so that the profitable ones will overtake the losing ones, and they declare profit. Are you with me, sir? That's trading.
All right.
That's business.
Okay. A big round of applause to our speakers. Thank you so very much, sir. Thank you so very much. The question sessions are over. Thank you. Now, as they are moving down, we want to bring up stage quickly for a 5, 7, 8 minutes quick talk tour. Tradimono, Mr. Abisoye, please, can you quickly come up? Let's appreciate him as he comes up stage. And then after that, we have Wakanda, and then we round off this session before we go for lunch. Where's this microphone?
Thank you.
Yes, 5-7 minutes.
What is forex? Forex simply means foreign exchange. It is the estimate of underlying asset performance during a given time frame. Most people here doesn't know how to trade forex. But the thing is, when you keep money in banks, banks use your money to trade forex, and they make money from trading. And if you know how to trade forex, you can also trade forex by yourself and make huge return. There's what we call artificial intelligence trading. And when you know about forex, you can even build robots to trade. We are not talking about only how to make money. We are talking about how to gain knowledge and make money yourself. Trading is something that is important for you to know. And we are talking about entrepreneurship as well. Now, they made mention of digital marketing. Without marketing, there's no way that any business is going to succeed. You have to market what you are selling. And we will teach you on how to use Facebook to gain multiple streams of income. Even if you are selling clothes, shoes, even if you are into barbing salon or whatsoever, you can take your business online. If you look at most of this business outside, most of them are not online. And if you are a digital marketer, you can have your own personal company. We are not even talking about how to generate money from somewhere else, but how to train, get trained, and make money by yourselves. Either your business is offline before, you can take your business online. You can become an expert and teach people on how to also become an internet expert. Now, apart from the digital marketing, we have e-commerce, electronic commerce. E-commerce simply means buying and selling of physical products online. Gone are the days that people need to travel to Dubai, Canada to import goods. You can easily import goods from the comfort of your home, in front of your system. How many people know Konga here? If you have heard about Konga, please raise up your hand. Good. How many people have heard about Jumia here too? So do you think that it's only Konga that is selling on Konga? Do you think that it is only Konga companies that are selling on their platform? No. I am a seller on Konga. Probably if you have browsed and bought some products from Konga before, probably you have bought from me. So we are going to teach you on how to get online, become a full-blown entrepreneur. And what we are bringing to you today is a platform that will teach you different business. Number one, how to trade forex like a professional. If you want to get trained, you find another way to train outside to be able to trade forex like a professional. Then we are also going to teach you on how to become an e-commerce expert, basically entrepreneurship program, how you can become a digital marketer as well. Now, our membership, once you become a member of Tradimono, when you register and paid amount of money for the membership, immediately you get cash back, product back of what you paid. For example, if you are coming and paying so amount of money, you get almost what you have paid for in product back. And that is what we are calling the new age of e-commerce. When you buy something, you buy it for yourself, right? But what about you buying that thing and you are getting paid by that what you, investing, and when you paid for something you buy. And that is what we're calling about the new era of e-commerce. The road to success is not narrow, but widely open for those people who open their brain and not only their eyes. When you see someone driving Range Rover, you say, wow, look at that person. I like that Range Rover. I feel like driving it too. But have you ever sat down and think of a way out, how you are going to plan and execute that plan to be able to buy that Range Rover? If you are looking at that Range Rover, that means you are only seeing that Range Rover with your eyes. But immediately when you start thinking, then you are using your brain with your eyes. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal, but the courage to continue that counts. So if you want to know more about us, because there's no time, we are going to teach you, and these trainings are free, teach you on how to become a full-blown entrepreneur. So you can come to our stand there. You can even play raffle draw for free from our e-commerce product. That's our stand. Please, can you wave? That's our stand here. You can play free of charge. And when you become a member today, you can also pay a paid membership raffle draw. And apart from that, once you become a member, you get whatever. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much, Tradimono. Please, if you would like to pitch with them, can we just have you just signify if during the breakout session, if you would like to visit their where we're setting them up, let's see you wave your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, around that number, about 10 people. Okay, we still have several others, but in rounding off this session, I will call on Wakanda to please come and speak to us about the product. Please, let's put our hands together for Mr. Biodu Makinde from Wakanda.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. All right, so I'm quickly going to talk about some of the things we're doing presently at Wakanda. I don't know how many of us have heard about Wakanda. You know Wakanda, okay. A few of us have heard about it. So I'll try to maybe do as a summary at the end. I'll introduce Wakanda to you. But this is one of the things we're doing right now. It's called Relay.ai. Those of us who run businesses here, and if you use email as a principal tool of communication with your businesses, you realize that the open rate of emails is very, very low. You send somebody an email, probably 3 days later, they probably have not read it. But when you use WhatsApp, people read WhatsApp messages. WhatsApp messages have like 90% open rate. Emails have about 30% open rate. And so for a lot of businesses, especially enterprises who have a lot of field agents, for them to get data from the field, direct data from the field, they have to be a lot of in-betweens, go between logistics driver now, in between goes on. So that is what Relay.ai takes care of. So what we're doing is we're leveraging WhatsApp as a gateway to your enterprise. All right, so with Relay.ai, you can centralize and automate your company's processes through WhatsApp. So it means that all your direct data, everything you need to gather as information from happening, you can get it immediately from WhatsApp. They don't even need to open an app. They don't need to go to the company website. They don't need to log into any backend. We will connect Relay.ai to your own backend system. It works with any kind of backend system, your HR system, your CRM, your ERP. It works with SAP. It works with any system in the world. You can connect Relay.ai to it, and then you can get information directly from the last mile. And that is very, very between. And it reduces the time in which you have to use information and appropriate it. So we are a remote control to any enterprise system. I've just said that. Any enterprise system in the world. And your drive WhatsApp. Your sales team, they have WhatsApp. So immediately they are leaving a customer or they are leaving a client, or even right there and then, they can enter their reports. All they need to do is just one single query on their WhatsApp. And WhatsApp for business to be able to do this. So we are leveraging the API of WhatsApp send you report almost immediately. And that report does not just come this backend system as actionable information that you can use almost immediately. So this is an example of an IT service management system. This is not very clear for you, and it's very, very easy, very simple to use. So these are the benefits of Relay.ai. You have higher ROI on your software licenses. You don't need to have your own mobile app anymore. So instead of trying to develop a mobile app for your company, just use WhatsApp. And then WhatsApp is connected to the backend. That's it. They don't need any kind of workflow in your business, either in marketing, either in sales, either in logistics, either in operations, any kind of workflow. Relay.ai takes care of it. And from your WhatsApp, they can, so you don't need to develop any app to run your business again. Relay.ai takes care of that. And then you can capture valuable data. You can reduce administrative burden. And it is being proven to is already in the Latin American markets. This is just coming to Africa for the first time. Now, privacy and security. A lot of people are always worried. Now, WhatsApp has one of the best encryption known to the world yet. It is called an end-to-end. Information is not stored. None of your data is stored, right? If anybody hacks your WhatsApp, it is not WhatsApp's fault. It is your fault. The hacking came from a slip, either from the side, not from WhatsApp. So it's end-to-end. So so there's no security breach at all. It's very, very secure. Your data are not stored on any of our servers. It is stored directly in your backend. So that's it. And so this is how it works. Your personal WhatsApp number of all your staff is authenticated. No WhatsApp. It's not just any WhatsApp that the WhatsApp number that's connected to your system. And then they pass through our workflow engine, and then they connect to your ERP or your CRM or your HR or your LGX, whatever enterprise software you're using. And that's it. So we can make your own version of Relay.ai for you. We can convert it. We can, customize it for you. So it does exactly what you want to do. There is no end to the kind of workflows it can work with, right? So system updates, queries, onboarding new staff, surveys, alerts, all those things can be programmed so that all those things can work seamlessly. It's automation, and it can work seamlessly without human input, direct input. Sales and marketing, finance, HR, IT service management, supply chain, logistics, real estate. So what is your own use case? You can talk to us. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to go for lunch break now. It's supposed to be between 1 and 2. We're not changing the start of time at 2. And at 2, then we're to do with digital tools here in this hall. If you're interested in trading, we've broken this thing up into 2 parts. If you're interested in trading, just go straight to the garden hall over there, and they will start to teach you about trading. The reason why trading is important is to be able to give you income. Please don't mix it up with those of you who are here as entrepreneurs. Am I making sense? It's to help those who have never done anything online to start. And even you as an entrepreneur, it's good for you to have a backup business that you do in the evening when you get back from work. You know what I mean? And see whether you can generate some revenue. But the rest of us are going to be in this hall. We're going to have interviews. We're going to have talks. We're going to take questions from you. We're going to find out the challenges you're facing. I think Biodun needs to come up a little bit. You know, when you're talking to people like Biodun, they're technically minded, but some of us have problems. Those of you who run schools or organizations where you can actually use this particular AI that is talking about to help you control when people come to work and when they close from work. So it's simple data, like instead of having them sign, you know what I mean? You have a way of using that technology to handle attendance, to handle giving instruction to your staff, getting immediate reports whether they're doing it. And the best part is that it works on WhatsApp, which almost everybody in your office or your organization has once they have a smartphone. The regional manager of Southwest for Bank of Industry has one or two things he wants to say to the entrepreneurs. If we can give him a mic, and we can do that very quickly before he leaves. I want to thank you for your patience for spending this. I know how busy you are, so we truly appreciate your taking the time to sit with us throughout this session, and appreciate your help in making this happen this year. And we look forward to working with you with a much better and improved plan next year. Please come up, sir, and quickly say what you need to say so that we can close for lunch break.
Thank you. I just see the need to address certain things, especially it's about the multiple streams of income that you just mentioned now. Because I have seen there could be some level of confusion in that respect. I've seen people that come for a loan, and I'm just trying to interview them about what they do. And this multiple stream of income is a bit confusing in so many areas. You can see somebody saying, I'm into fashion design, but I also bake cake, But why? Those are two different lines. Oh, don't you know the need for multiple sources of income? I said this much of a confusion. It's always better when you expand the scope of expand within your own product line. Say jack of all trades, master of none. You can't just say because you need multiple sources of income or many sources of income, you start jumping from one when you have not even optimally operate whatever you are. See all those people that have been mentioned when Raleigh Academy was mentioning, maybe there's something that also to encourage ourselves to see. Look at Jeff Bezos, those very, very man. Look at his own line of business. Everything's about online, from Amazon to every other thing. It's study electrical engineering and computer sciences, and leverage on that to be able to start an online book selling. And he's expanded that thing from using that platform to do many other things, online trading, expanding, trying to optimize whatever he's doing within the value chain, leverage earn more income. It's not that he's moving from one online trading or online business that he's doing and jump to another infrastructure and jump to something else. It's not like that, even though he needs multiple something of income. But it's better he leverage what he knows, the skill that he acquire, to acquire more other income. Look at Virgin Island. When he talked about that, the fact that he has 40 companies. You need to check those 40 companies. The logistic transportation. When he started the what's it called, Virgin Airline, he later moved to rail, he later moved to space, he will later move to port. On and on. They are to complement everything I was doing, so he can operate within that sector very well. So my advice for the SMEs, try as much as possible to optimally operate whatever you are doing. And you can now look at capturing more value within that sector. Before, when you are now stable, you have mastered that very well, it can autopilot, then you cannot stop probably talking about another sector. Let's look at example for a tailor. That's probably people bring clothes and they sew for them. But thereafter, you rather stand up fabrics and bring it to me. What if I'm the one selling the fabric as well? So he called people and said, oh, I have fabrics I can sew for you, rather than for you go and bring fabrics for me. They have captured another value. And then that's what he's doing. This is focus. So rather than for you bring fabrics to me, let me say fabrics. And I know that I've even mastered this art of tailoring. Source of income, but it's within what is doing. It's not branching out. But if that tailoring business becomes so big that it's not doing ready to where it's doing mass production, then you now want to do another thing. It's much better. So I just want us to be careful about this multiple source of income so that we don't get confused about it and we don't do all that. The online trading, it's a fantastic thing. I don't have anything about it. If you have some reserve, why not? Even myself, I will give a talk to that now, probably. you know, but it's essential that we let you run on autopilot and be able to, you know, capture everybody as much as possible before you start talking about branching out to other sectors.
That's a very good balance that we all need to do. We all need to really be very careful, and that's very important. When you understand your value chain, it helps you to know where to spread out into. Have you gained anything today? All right, so we hope to do better tomorrow, but we also hope to do better this afternoon. So please, we're going to take a lunch break right now. And please, all our guests and speakers, we've made arrangements for your lunch. Please just note so you don't go running. So please, thank you very much. We'll be back here at 2. Please, we start as indicated in our program. At 2, we're starting. If there are 2 people in the hall, we're starting at 2. That's just the way it runs. All right? So we'll see you in a few minutes. There are people selling food, I think, at the pool side. I think so. I wanted one of them inside here. And then there are 2 people selling the shawarmas, stuff like that at the pool side. Please go there. It's a nice place to relax. We also want to introduce our pool to you. So God bless you. We'll see you.